It's coffee. It's comics. It's music. It's Nerds on Coffee.
What's up, guys? Matt here.
Hey,
Are you just nameless today?
yeah, I try to do that as much as possible because it bothers you that I don't introduce myself.
It bothers me so much. So first, let me introduce our guest today, Kristin Yasuda from Bandsintown.
Hello.
So, Kristin, you have to understand, Kyle's wife has a podcast also, and they do an amazing intro, and I try to do that every episode for us, and Kyle just always...
I just won't do it.
He won't do it.
Obviously, you can see which one's his favorite.
Yes, for sure. He likes
well, they get like super like charismatic and like really excited because like my wife's a registered dietitian, and she also teaches at Pure Bar in Woodland Hills, and her podcast is called Yep, I Did That, and her co-host is her friend Jonna, who is like also very health conscious, but she will try anything that she reads online, anything. So like the concept behind Yep, I Did That is just like they basically come in, Jonna talks about all this like shit that she tries and like how it went for her, and then Amanda actually breaks down the science behind it, and it's like a health and wellness podcast.
So that's like my kind of podcast.
It's probably
Sorry, guys.
way more suited for you than this fucking podcast.
Yeah, I mean, that's
like,
definitely more on brand. I found
100%.
out when we were grabbing lunch right before this that Kristin does a 5K every morning.
that's
Yes.
insane.
Yes.
I don't even know what Ks I've done total in my life. Like, that's not
Or what kind of case?
or what kind of Ks. Like I don't know.
I mean, you've definitely done a lot of Ks, but they're more of the special kind.
The K, yeah, K for
kilograms.
potassium. Yeah, kilograms. Food.
So let's get started with our coffee of the day, but because Kristin is not a coffee drinker, we went with tea.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we went to Olive and Thyme.
Oh, I love all of them.
We were going to get you a fruity berry tea because you're a fruitcake, but
I have a sweet tooth. That's
you do,
for sure,
yeah,
yeah.
100%. But they were out of it, so we just got you
Meditation.
meditation.
You know, and obviously I got green tea because I'm Asian.
Yes.
Okay.
She's very Asian, so we had to get her green tea. She's so Asian, and I have to show this to you.
Let's try
I know.
And even though
Too bad we can't.
nobody on the podcast has a visual because we don't video them yet.
Is it me or is tea like way fucking hotter than coffee is? This is
No, it is.
Cup
It's
is
just,
outrageous.
Yeah, it's just hot water, bro.
yeah, no, I know, but it's like of all the coffee you've brought, like it's never been this hot in my hand.
Totally,
upon
because
receiving
coffee
it.
filters through water. Water does not filter through anything for tea. But, so this is Kristin's dad. That's how Asian they are.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's going home for dinner.
Yeah, so what I'm
That's
showing
what's
Kyle right now is a sushi platter worthy of sugarfish, maybe even
It's
worthy.
better than sugarfish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
give me some.
It's like literally straight from Japan.
yeah, I mean,
good.
what's the dude from?
Oh, Shiro Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah,
that,
dude, it took me 5 minutes to try to say the name right. I was like Euro.
His name's Jiro. I mean, like I'm not.
And the
gonna
whole time I was like, I think it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
agreeing with me.
Like every new iteration, like you pronounce it differently every time. She's like, that sounds right. Yeah. Would it be, how racist would it be if we just didn't put your actual promo photo up that you sent us and we just put a picture of sushi? Like, we got Kristin Yasuda on. Here you go.
Yasuda sounds like a roll. So
Yasuda.
yeah, the
Yasuda
Yasuda
roll.
roll.
That's what's up.
Yeah, do you want to cut or hand roll? Like so.
I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe we should like have your dad make that as like a
I wish
specialty roll.
when I come back, and that's he should make something up, and then you
Yeah,
guys
bring
test it
roll.
out.
Wait, so does he own a sushi restaurant?
No, but he just works at one.
He should
awesome.
lobby to have a Yasuda roll put on the menu.
He should. Well, his dream is to have a restaurant one day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Is the sushi place up in San Francisco?
No, it's here in North Hollywood.
Well, your dad lives around here?
No, he lives in Santa Monica, but he works at a restaurant out here.
Oh, I didn't know your parents lived over here.
Man, he's
One of 'em.
committed.
Ah.
You're getting my whole life story.
Oh, I love it. But I should go. I think me and Kyle should go to
His restaurant.
his restaurant.
Yeah,
And
you
lobby
tell
them
me-
to do a Yasuda roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give him a heads up you're going. You tell him that you work with me, and then he'll take care of you guys a
Oh,
little
I
bit.
love it. What
Super interesting.
what do you think of the tea, Kyle?
I've had tea before.
Really?
Not a lot, but
Because so the reason he says that, so you understand, is I kind of knew this, but didn't really know this until we recorded the first episode, where he blatantly said on the podcast that he'd never had coffee before.
like, don't drink it. It's not a thing.
But like tried it once and you're like, no.
I mean, maybe whenever I was a kid, but like never as an adult, I was like, I'm gonna get like.
That's
a
the
coffee
irony
or,
of
like,
the name of the podcast. Is
Yeah.
that I'm like one side of the spectrum, like a pot of coffee a day, and Kyle's like the other side of the spectrum, has never had it.
I used to drink almost a pot every day. College years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you like mellowed out.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't need this. And then
You
I went to
replaced
tea.
it with K's.
Yeah.
5 K's.
But do you like this coffee?
It's the tea's cool.
Oh, the tea,
like
yes,
it's
sorry.
like a it's like a mint kind of flavor in this, or like
It's chamomile?
It is meditation tea.
Yeah,
So calming.
it's great. I picked up some new candles recently, and this one that
For
I'm
you
burning.
to start
This one
meditating.
that I'm no, I've actually meditated for a long time, but this candle I'm burning is called Joy and Laughter. So
Oh, amazing.
thought it was suitable.
Suitable.
I thought it would suit us. I'm the fucking king of just completely changing like the context of the word I want to use in the sentence because I don't know like the right conjugation for it.
The irony of that is that Kyle went to college for like English and writing.
I'm an English major too.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's like we live next to each other. We're basically neighbors / best friends.
Yeah, just a few blocks. We were actually like right before we came on.
Yeah.
We were talking about how like I ride my bike
You
by your apartment like all the
stalk her
time.
Apartment building, yeah.
Yeah. No, you know what's funny is that I
Like,
noticed.
yeah,
No, don't talk about it. You know what's funny though is your there's these signs all over the place. Was your apartment complex the one that has all the signs up that says like stop, like no condos or whatever, or like say no to condos or something like that? Because they're like fucking up everything for like the equestrian center or like that area. I see a lot of signs.
Oh, they're
in that
probably
area.
like around.
Like
my
on, I see a lot of
building.
signs on Riverside, especially like across the street from base camp for sure. That say like say no to condos or whatever, or like some type of corporate expansion or something in the neighborhood. Like people are like
Why?
super
'Cause
against it.
condos are different than apartments in what way?
That's why I was asking. I don't understand the sign. I could say because like you go through parts of LA and you see people that are like pissed about like the McMansions and stuff,
Yeah.
you know. But like that's a little different. The condo thing is like I don't understand. It's just like an apartment that you own. Like
Probably a tax reason.
Maybe I feel like
Maybe.
this neighborhood is also a lot of houses that you don't really see in like the city area.
That's true.
Like
Yeah.
an actual neighborhood.
You think that they're trying to gentrify the gentrified area,
it's like already super fucking hipster, like nice, clean.
but they're
like,
trying to do
part
more
town.
by doing condos. They think that's the end all of me all.
Well, you know what? Maybe because there's not really anywhere to develop around there, so maybe it's like they're like don't tear anything down because
Yeah,
maybe
keep it
some
the way it
company
is.
came in.
Yeah.
That's like my best guess.
I think they hate like the studios that they keep coming closer and closer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the studios definitely do, and I mean, you know a little bit about that life
Yeah.
coming from Radio Disney.
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah. So for those that don't know Kristen's illustrious career in life, she spent many years at Disney.
6.5.
Wow.
It's a good amount of time.
And it was
How many K's is that?
I wouldn't want to say that you tried to hide it, but it took us a solid year to realize that we had initially met when you were working
Yeah.
at Radio Disney.
And that, I wouldn't say I was hiding that. I just didn't remember.
I know. So, were you with us when we did the Radio Disney promo?
That's what we were talking about before we started. I think so because
Yeah, you
Logan actually
definitely-
did a performance
Right.
there.
Yeah, you definitely
And
were
we-
in there.
And he was wearing the varsity jacket with the roses on it. That's
Yeah,
hot.
I was 100%
We
there.
were all there.
I actually have a photo with Logan there.
Yeah, so do
First
I with
photo I ever
Brendan
took with
David.
Logan.
I have one with him too. So
Yeah.
none of us were in each other's pictures.
Exactly.
But we were all there.
That's really funny, man. That's such a small world.
Right.
That's crazy. I don't even think I realized that whenever we talked about having you on the show. Like,
No.
I didn't even think about it.
It all comes full circle.
That's
So,
crazy.
so what was like your craziest PG story from Radio Disney years?
Wait, PG.
But how can you have a crazy PG?
Because Radio Disney's PG.
Oh.
So like as crazy as you can get for Radio Disney.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
we don't have any limits on this show. Like, I even kind of. Not even a little bit.
No, I mean Kyle went to try to say hi to Kevin Spacey one time, and Kevin Spacey like sensed it, turned, and just went.
Just shook his head no. It's like, you motherfucker.
It's like you're
like his nonverbal communication was louder than anyone who's ever shouted at me in my life. Like, he turned around and was like, you motherfucker.
It's like in a movie when they turn, but then the voice of God is saying, "Don't approach me."
For sure. Whatever the opposite voice of Morgan Freeman is, that's the voice that happened. Yeah, so what's some like crazy shit that happened to Radio Disney? I mean, like, have people ever tried to do shit that you're like, well, you can't do that here? And then
I mean,
for,
of
like,
course, you get all the F bombs. Like, obviously, it's
yeah.
radio; you got to cut everything out.
So So that's actually a good question. Do you guys do interviews like on a pause in case of that?
Everything's pre-recorded. Yeah, interviews.
Oh, cool. So you can edit.
Yeah,
shit.
of course. You have to be extra safe there. So.
Yeah, because I remember I was on a college radio show, and because I thought it'd be cool to try that. And like I went through the training, and at the end of the training, like the last day of like a week of training at UMass, they hand you a sheet of paper that says, "We are not liable if you curse on air," and that's a $10,000 fine to the Recording Academy.
Jeez.
Good luck.
Did he have like a dump button and everything, or like?
Oh yeah, we had a cough button.
Yeah.
So like you'd push if you were gonna cough or just to bleep something out. But then it's like it was never live, so it didn't really
Yeah,
matter.
it didn't matter. It's nice to not have to edit someone's coughs though. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, like 8 episodes ago, something like that. I started coughing like crazy. I couldn't stop. I just left it in there. I didn't give fuck our listeners. I don't give a shit about that.
He was coughing so bad that I was pausing for his safety. I had dialed 911 on my phone.
You were like, dude, you're all right.
To go for the last one.
It derailed a conversation, and I just left it in because I was like, whatever.
So have you ever had like crazy ancillary people come in, like any like let's say Kyle being the guitarist, right, for Logan, and when we were doing the interview, like have you ever had like crazy prima donnas of like not even the talent?
Like the teams?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had crazy where, they want to know about the security. And I'm like, well, we don't really have security. So they're like, is it going to be okay when my artist comes in and they want to like scope the area
And
before?
that's like cool if the artist is like Post Malone, right? But would you get that for artists that are like...
Smaller?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or who like want glam. And I'm like, it's radio.
Yeah, like, we don't give out this address. Like, no one knows you're even here.
Or like they spend 2 hours doing hair and makeup, and I'm like,
but I disagree with that, Kyle. When we were at South by last year, do you remember that time that we were all getting burgers and some fan caught a photo of Logan eating the burger and threw it up on Twitter?
Oh yeah, and then we just got like
we had some crazy stuff.
so there used to be fans that would show up. Or they would show up when no one's there because you know how you air it later, so they actually think they're there.
Oh,
and we're like, joke's on you.
Yeah.
They're not here.
Then like your security team has to deal with that.
Yeah, like when we would air like the boy bands or Bieber interviews,
Or
like people would think that they're actually there at that time.
Oh, that's so funny.
I would be that kind of fan. Like I would be that. Like I wouldn't. I don't think like I have like the capacity to like think back and be like, all right, well, it's like I'm a fan of this person. They're gonna be doing interviews, gonna air like next week. Blah. I should like get to the studio this day. I would 100% be the like, oh my god, they're talking right now in my car, and then I just fucking drive there.
Or
and,
it's like when they tell you to call in to win the prize. They already have the winner.
Right.
And I'm the idiot, like sometimes at radio stations, I've got to call, got to text.
That's amazing. That's so funny.
Like you're on the inside and yet you still do it.
For other stations. They fool you.
That's
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
What so you've been now in music in one way or another for 10 years almost?
Oh God. I think I first started sophomore year in college.
So
that's
12 years.
2008.
Yeah, because we're the same age, so 12 years.
Yeah, like I've been around the block. Like I started.
So what made you want to do it?
It's a funny story, which has nothing to do with.
We got plenty of time.
So I always say like the best thing anyone can ever tell you is no. So like started college, whatever, freshman, moved out, whatever. I was rushing for sororities with one of my good friends. I didn't get any bids. And
Really?
she got all of them.
Oh wow, fuck
Yeah,
that bitch.
Greek and Asian. And I'm like, what the, obviously it's something, it's like they didn't want me in the club. So I had a big old, like, F you. And I thought, well, the best thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work in entertainment and like work with famous people.
Oh, that's great.
So I literally went blind and started Googling like all these internships and just sending in a resume I like threw together last minute, just like for every major company. I was like, I'm just going to show these girls, like, I don't need them. I don't need my sisterhood.
How many did you send out, you think?
Maybe like, I don't remember.
Like
Not
100?
that many because
Like less than 10 maybe?
Sony responded right away.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
And it was funny because
Where'd
like
you
I
go to
didn't
school?
UC Irvine. So I didn't
So
go through a
Sony
counselor.
Sony Culver.
Entertainment in Beverly Hills when they were in Beverly Hills.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like I didn't go through a counselor or anyone. I literally was just like, I'm going to show these girls that I'm going to be better
did
than
that shit.
them. Yeah.
Like, have you contacted any of those people back and just be like,
No, but then it's like I would look at
Can we give shade to the sorority?
Oh, I don't remember which one. It was all of them. No one wanted me.
Oh, you
Oh, it's all
rushed
of them.
all of them.
Or like maybe 3. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
yeah.
for our listeners, why don't you guys do a great solid and comment in the Instagram what sororities were around at UC Irvine in 2007.
That you want to throw shade at.
Yeah, I do want to throw shade at them.
But can you imagine that feeling when your friend gets all the bids and then it's like, obviously, it's, it could have been looks, I don't know, or something.
Well, I mean, you are talking about like one of the most like superficial,
Oh, yeah.
like
UC Irvine, yeah.
just organizations in general, just in terms of sororities and fraternities.
Yeah.
That's insane. I think that was like you probably agree is like a huge blessing in disguise. Probably
Yeah,
did you a
I mean,
favor.
like, of course, I still love them, UC Irvine, but it's like,
Oh, I'm just talking about sororities and frats. Like, fuck those people.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm a fraternity guy.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I know.
I'm still in one.
Why do you think it took me? I'm like, yeah, man, I take like one art class a semester so I could go rush.
Yeah, totally.
That's funny. Nah, it just wasn't ever for me. And I grew up, or I didn't grow up, but like I lived in a town where like it was a college town, and like all the the frat guys were just like super douchey and shitty, and they were all carbon copies of one another. It's like my only real experience of like being around people like that were just like they were all the worst version of one another. And you literally couldn't pick any of them out of a lineup because they all look exactly the same. They act the same.
Yeah, and like literally
Everything.
that no was like, it's what drove me to just find something else.
And why did you choose entertainment out of all of the...
I don't know. Like, I didn't have, like, in my mind, I'm going to be famous, but, like, I'm going to do something amazing where it's, like, it's public. You guys can see it.
So you want to be Geppetto to everyone's Pinocchio.
Exactly. Yes.
If anyone knows Chris and they know that that's pretty on brand.
That's funny.
So I did that. Sony responded immediately, and I was surprised.
And you did an internship with
So
them.
I started off as a content intern because I was an English major for Columbia Records. 1 quarter. I was like, I love being here, but I was like, I don't really want to write anymore.
Yeah.
And then I actually went back to their HR and said, like, I want to continue this, like, but in a different department. So I asked to be an A&R, and they put me at A&R at Jive Records.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tight.
So I was their intern for like a little over a year, and then they hired me part-time during the summer.
So this is
awesome.
2008-ish?
Yeah, my junior year. So
That's
it's
cool.
like I just kept going up. I was an assistant for publicity promotion at A&R.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And then like it came around to graduation. I was like, I love it here. I love working with all you guys. Like I want to be full-time, but it wasn't available. But because I had that relationship, they're like, we actually know someone at Radio Disney who's hiring. I'm going to refer you over there.
Oh,
So Radio
nice.
Disney was first out of college.
Yeah, but at first I didn't want it. If you think about me
Interesting.
working urban, I was working Chris Brown and the
yeah,
and then all of a
yeah.
sudden someone's like, you should go to Radio Disney, and at that time it was straight up pop, teen pop, and
Right. Which is
Right.
not anymore. It's changed a lot.
yeah. But if you think about
I can
like,
understand that transition though. It
Yeah.
might be like a little jarring, even though it might be like an incredible job. It's just like
oh yeah, no, honestly, at first I
Content is
was
just
like,
like,
I
oh
don't think I'm gonna apply, but then I thought, well, I can't be stupid. I need a job. I'm about to graduate.
Totally.
Right.
So I went for it and got it, and then it turned literally into a career.
that's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
And when you were applying, you obviously weren't thinking about any of the stuff that we were talking about earlier, where like Disney's health benefits were just so amazing,
yeah.
right?
I was thinking about, like-
working for a company like Disney.
Yeah, I was just thinking about I need to make some money so I can keep paying rent type of thing.
Totally.
So that happened, and I was still living in Irvine, and then I did the commute for 6 months. It turned me into
You
a bitch
commuted from Irvine to Burbank.
for 6 months.
How?
I killed every relationship I had.
You're just like, oh man.
I come home every night. It was the worst. I was so grumpy and like
Were you living at like with friends in Irvine?
yeah, in an apartment, but
Oh,
I
wow.
turned into a horrible person. So then I eventually moved out
gosh.
here to North Hollywood. I was like, I can't do it anymore. So I moved in with someone. I was like, I don't have time to find a place. I'm moving in with you until I find something. So
And they were like, okay.
it was my boyfriend at the time. And then that didn't work out.
Oh my gosh.
If you don't really know someone until you move in with them.
Totally.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
true.
didn't know Kyle until I moved in with him.
That's true. Matt sleeps right over there.
Yeah, that's my bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
We
Cuddles
actually
with me every night.
we actually need to get a new futon
We do.
Really, that's why
for
my
the
back hurts.
studio.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I refuse to be the big spoon.
So this morning I'm in Vegas for a show, and unlike not dissimilar from any other day, and I wake up. I don't know. I think lobby closed 7:30. Woke up at 5:50. Went to go take a shower. was getting dressed, everything was fine. And then, like, slowly, I just felt my back completely spasming out.
Dang,
and I
man.
went from standing straight up to on my hands and knees, not being able to stand up. And
That's
I
the
had
worst.
to have one of the artists come to help me stand up.
Dude, that's insane. Like, I've got
I'm
a pretty
getting
shitty
old.
back. I've had some like severe back issues before, and it's like never fun.
But the good thing is that Alexis will never listen to the podcast. So I can just say that I know it's my fault, which I'd never admit to her, which is that I just don't stretch enough.
That's awesome.
That's literally
It
the
hurt
problem.
so bad we had to pick up an icy hot on the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
true.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I just started playing Nintendo. I was like, well, they're gonna be late, so that's
Oh, that's
amazing.
hilarious. So yeah, so what is like you love going to festivals also, right?
Yes.
At what point were you realizing that the internship at Sony and the going to festivals was going to be what you wanted to do for the next 30 years?
Or more like work in music, I guess. I
Totally,
think it
yeah.
was, honestly, it was the artist development portion. Just because I'm one of those people that's always listening to music. You want to be the person that finds that good song and who can share it with everyone before it's big. So that A&R aspect is what really wanted to keep me in it. But I think even at Jive, I was like, this is great. I love it. I didn't know if being at a label was the right thing. And then I went to radio. I loved it. And then I was there for a while and I was like, radio's kind of dying. I, want to find something
But
different.
you did break a
Right.
couple of big records at Radio
a couple
Disney.
of good ones.
Yeah. What were some of the ones that you were most proud of?
Oh, let's see. I'll think of the plaques hanging on my wall. Let's see. Flume, who I love.
Oh,
Right.
dope.
We have that. Marshmallow, Alone. That
I do
one.
right. So actually, I want to stop you there because I remember we've talked about this, where you went and fought. For
Yeah, that was
record.
like that song wasn't at radio, so it's like for us we rely so much on testing. But obviously the numbers were there, like they're huge on YouTube, the streaming numbers. So it's kind of like one of those things you can't not ignore it. So we tested the song and it like went through the roof.
Because Radio Disney was one of the first stations to start really playing
yeah,
Alone, right?
Yeah, to power it. So
That's awesome.
just it's the numbers from the fans. It was all there.
And for those listeners that don't know what that means, can you explain what powering a record means?
That means in high rotation. Yes,
So
in my
like
radio.
30, 40 spins a week.
Oh yeah, for us though it was like 40 to 50.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we gave
Yeah,
a
it's a
lot of
lot.
love. Like even for a new song, it's like you would call it light rotation, but for us it was kind of like a medium compared to other stations.
Wow.
So we relied a lot on the fans to make the decisions.
It's
And now
awesome.
Marshmallow's the #1 artist in the world on Spotify.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
Well, that was from the Fortnite and Ninja stuff that just happened.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, like,
But it's like over a year you could just see
all,
it.
it's just a domino
Yeah.
effect. I mean,
Yeah, that
everything
was
led up
crazy.
to that, you know?
And it all is because of people like you that take a chance on a record.
Yeah, that
right?
was-
The new generation, because I think there's a lot of people, especially in radio, that are a little bit older that probably would have like missed that.
Oh yeah, they would probably just listen to the song first or look at a picture, like the profile picture and kind of, turn the page. But
Yeah,
at Radio
for
Disney,
sure.
like we broke so many artists. Like if you think about like Logan we support.
Totally.
There's like Alice Merton. I remember
Love
working on that
Alice
over
Merton.
there. And aside from like the what I call like the traditional like Jonas, Selena, like of course, but it's the baby artists like Kelsey Ballerini.
Yeah.
I remember meeting her like right when she got started, or like Dea.
Oh,
She came in
yeah.
right after her prom.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's wild.
Alessia
In her
Cara-
prom
yeah.
dress.
Yes,
Fucking
but
like
Alessia
Saturday Night
Cara,
Mass,
like she came in right after she signed her contract.
Mm.
So but I think the problem that we had was we always had to convince the listeners that this is
next
new, but
thing.
it's going to be great.
That's awesome.
So
That's really cool. And now you're at Bandsintown.
yes, like it literally has been a few days over a year, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it feels
nuts.
so much longer.
So what was that transition like for you going from like
Like I wouldn't call
working
it
under the umbrella of like the same
Yeah.
industry, but like having
I
pretty
wouldn't
different job
call
roles?
it like a reality check, but it was a shock.
Mm.
Like I went from super corporate, biggest company in the world to a private startup.
Right.
From employees of thousands to employees of 80.
Right.
But the LA office was a team of 3 at the time.
Dang.
In a shared office space, not an actual office. So
Right.
it was like really weird. Like even at first I was like, did I
He's like,
do the
oh
right
God.
thing?
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I was nervous the first couple months.
Because you work out of a WeWork, right?
Yeah.
Which I work out of a WeWork also. Kyle works out of a broken down garage.
That's 100% right.
But going from, I mean, we all have egos of some level, right? So no matter how much you're getting paid or how cool the job is, there's definitely something to be said about like rolling up into like a building plaqued with like the history that is Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and then moving into kind of a co-working space that's still in and of itself pretty aesthetically pleasing, but it's not Disney.
Yeah, I think it was kind of, it hit me when you have a conversation, oh, I work for Disney, and someone's like, oh my God, that's amazing. It sounds like the best job ever. And then you go, I work at Bandsintown. They're like, what is that?
Totally.
Yeah, so for me, that was more of this like, wow.
And how did you get over that?
I just had to grow into the job. Like now I could tell you I love it. You know, you are what you make of it. So there's
Totally.
a lot of room to be creative, you know, freedom.
Do you feel less stressed at this job?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say I definitely have a more work-life balance, which is key.
And is that and that's not necessarily Disney versus private. That's radio versus anything not radio,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, radio's insane.
Well, if you think radio doesn't go off the air, it's on 24/7. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And programming a station predominantly focusing on what is it, 11 to 16?
Yeah.
Right.
And then if you think about the time I was there, I was doing 2 stations.
What was
Country, Radio Disney Country.
Oh, wow.
So that's not a normal PD, you know, 2 genres, 2 full-time stations.
That's crazy.
It's just double the work. Interviews, in studios, events. Yeah.
That's intense.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Now you get to throw events,
Yes.
which is really cool.
Yeah. Parties. The 21 plus kind.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about censoring people.
Yeah.
What's the coolest thing that you think what's the coolest thing that you've done at Bandsintown from an activation standpoint?
I mean, I've only done 2 house parties, and I'm about to run into my first showcase at South by.
Oh, cool.
So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I think that's actually the first live activation that I'll be a part of. We've done others in New York, but I haven't been there for that.
And for the record, the 2 house parties you have thrown have had bomb catering.
I know, right? So
Yeah, they're so good.
those are fun.
Bartenders.
that's
and,
I know. I'll have
and
to
just
invite you to the
food.
next one.
Yeah, 100%.
I purposely didn't invite you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't want
Yeah.
to take all the food?
I didn't want him to eat all the food. He's like,
I'm a fucking dumpster.
dude, I've talked about this at least a dozen times already on our 9 episodes. But there's a restaurant on 3rd Street in Mid City that we went to after a show. I forget what show it was, but I shit you not. Kyle looks at the whole menu. It's like a tapas restaurant. Like looks at it, studies it, and looks up at the waitress and goes, "I'll have one of everything made of meat."
Every meat dish. She probably bought me like 10, 15 plates.
Was it like a Brazilian? Oh no,
No, it was like
barbecue
tapas. Tapas,
Oh.
No, it was like tapas.
Yeah, it was like Spanish tapas. So there's like different steaks.
So they're
and-
like, we recommend like 2 to 3 portions like per person. You're good. You can try a little bit of everything. I'm like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Like, what would you like? And I was like, yes.
They're like, what? You're like one of everything.
Yeah.
he literally
It
did
was
it.
so good.
And I do that jokingly at restaurants. I'll go into a restaurant and be like, "Can I have one of everything?" and then quickly put an order in.
But at tapas places,
Right.
I usually feel like that too. If you're in a group, then you can all try a little bit.
No, but he ate
I didn't
it
share.
all.
Oh.
I didn't share.
Me being tiny, I wonder if they would take me seriously. I would like one of everything with meat.
Only protein, please.
Yes.
Fish meat is practically a vegetable. Don't bring me that shit either. Nah, it was great. I think I looked at everybody at the table and they were like, what is the matter with you? I was like, you guys are about to see something special. And then I ate all that food.
He actually finished it all. It was the most incredible sight I've ever seen in my entire life.
I mean, I love
They should have
meat.
comped you that meal. One of those
They
things,
should
you
have
know,
been
like,
if
this
you
is
can
like-
finish the whole thing. Then
Yeah. There's a restaurant about like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where I'm from in West Texas, called the Big Texan. And they have, they have a steak challenge there. I've never done it, but they have
Should we go?
They have a steak challenge. Dude, I would 100% do it. They take you to the restaurant. They have this big table on a platform in the middle of the restaurant with a huge like clock next to it that they can start timing you. And it's only reserved for people who want to do the challenge. And you have 1 hour, and it's a 72-ounce steak. And you have to eat all the steak. You've got to eat all the sides, all the bread. You have to drink, literally everything.
6 pounds?
You have 1 hour.
I would explode.
6 pound steak plus cornbread.
Like plus bread, salad,
How much
sides.
does that cost?
I think it's like $100 or something like that, but like it's free if you finish it. And I'm
Totally.
like,
Who
fucking
would want to finish that?
comping that meal is not enough of a victory for me to have to sit through that shit. Like I've seen people do it. Like I went one time and I was sitting upstairs and this kid came in. He sat down and tried to. He was like dipping cornbread in water and stuff like that,
Oh my God, it's like
doing
those
all
hot
this
dogs.
thing. I'm like, wow, you thought this through, man. Like
Well, it's like the hot dog challenge. You see, they put the bug and
exactly.
put a bug
His
in their Diet
only
Coke.
reward is $100 comp meal.
yeah, exactly.
But
I'm
then they
like,
don't have to eat for a month. I mean,
I don't know, man.
think about it.
No, I'm actually typically hungrier the days after I eat like a crazy meal.
yeah,
Because you got used to it.
Yeah, exactly.
it's just like stretching.
You guys
Like,
should go
made
do
me
like a
wrong.
ramen challenge, like those spicy ramen.
I do love ramen.
Oh, I did a spicy challenge recently. I was in Austin
With Logan?
with Logan not too long ago, and we were staying at we were staying at somebody's house, and like their roommates were like,
that time.
yeah, so we were like cooking food, and they were like, hey, like, you ever heard of the YouTube show Hot Ones? And I was like, yeah, it's so funny.
yeah.
Yeah, where they try all the different like levels of spicy sauce on wings and stuff. They ordered like when Hot Ones was selling there, I don't know if they're still selling it, but like when they were selling like the spices and stuff that they use, they were like, hey, this is what we use in the show. And they rank them, on the scale. And like they got the hottest one. They were like, we bought like a little bottle of the hottest one.
And you were the
and
asshole.
they were like, well, no, because they had already opened it. They're like, dude, it's pretty hot. But they're like, it's insane. It's like ghost pepper hybrid. And so they like genetically modified a pepper and then like mixed that with a ghost pepper and then made this
It's
sauce.
like an alien ghost pepper.
It's insane. Yeah. So I got like a good amount on like a piece of
Did you need milk after?
bread. Yeah, they brought me ice cream, milk, all kinds of shit, man. I almost like hyperventilated.
See, what do you do for someone like me who's lactose intolerant? You're like, oh my,
Bread.
soy milk.
I don't know. Yeah, soy milk, you go almond milk.
Soy milk
No.
wouldn't work.
Oh, it's
You
the
need
dairy.
It's the dairy.
or the
Dairy's
lactose.
gotta do it.
Dairy.
Oh, then I would just die.
No, but bread does it also, like white bread.
Bread
White
does it. They brought me a lemon juice that helped. So
The hottest thing I've ever tried, there's a wing shop near my hometown in New York, and they had a hot sauce called Chernobyl. Like Chernobyl? Like where
it's
the
so
nuclear-
hot. 30 years later, you're still gonna be really upset about it.
Chernobyl's a site in Russia,
Yeah.
where they had a nuclear fallout.
Oh,
And
Well, a nuclear
like a nuclear
a
plant.
nuclear reactor like melted down, and like the whole town,
the whole town and area is never livable again.
like 50,000 people had to
so
evacuate.
that's how
like,
it felt in your
overnight.
mouth.
Yeah. No, it was really hot.
Like evacuate 50,000 people because this is literally a fucking nuclear disaster.
Oh, God.
Hot.
Yeah.
Like
I always and not to like make a hard right, but I'm about to make a hard right.
All right, let's go
but
for
I always say that like the day that we like annihilate civilization is when we think we've created like a warp engine or some sort of faster than light technology. Because if you think about it just logically, we've had nuclear fusion for just about 100 years. And in those 100 years, we've made at least 3 places that are publicly acknowledged unlivable forever
Yeah.
due to testing. Right, so 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, and Hiroshima.
Yeah.
I think Nagasaki's actually somehow like still livable. But the point is when we go to start testing like engines in space, some asshole's gonna ignite it too close to the planet, knock it off its axis, and then done.
honestly, that's probably the most realistic like scenario I've heard of, just someone annihilating humanity, or like what's like not gonna be like a solar flare or anything. Like it's gonna be like Elon Musk 2 is gonna wake up and be like, oh man, I created this like fucking space engine, and it's like literally gonna knock the Earth off axis.
100%.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's like
Or it's gonna be something in the LA sub whatever he's building underground, and then
Oh yeah.
some kind of seismic shift.
Or-
that, like,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
fun story. So the underground tunneling like reacts some sort of San Andreas fault.
yeah,
and,
so
like,
they're gonna hit
destroy-
something, and then
Look
boom.
at you! You can be a sci-fi writer.
I could
Wow.
next job.
Next job.
Next job. All right, Bandsintown. I'm gonna put in my 6 months notice.
Oh God, guys, don't listen.
But no, I want to go back to people in college, girls, guys looking for their career path. What would be your best piece of advice when you think you found what you want to do, but then you hit like adversity and you need to like make the decision? Do you take the easy path where there's a job that you see maybe stability,
Right.
but then there's the path that you know is like what you're meant to do?
I think if you don't want to waste time, always go with what you're passionate with. So say you're going for the stability and what seems like the safe move, you're just going to eventually come back to what you were supposed to do, you
Right.
know? And then you just wasted how many years.
Totally.
So I always think if you're trying to decide which one's the right one, which one gets you more excited, which one are you more passionate about, and take risks.
Yeah.
So like everything I've done has been like spontaneous, spur of the moment type of thing. And like,
Some type of like risk.
Yeah,
on
you know,
some
like doing
level
this
of just like,
podcast.
oh shit. Absolutely.
Well,
'Cause you have no idea what your career trajectory is going to look like after we release this motherfucker.
I always
Like,
tell Kyle that he should go for, because his passion's been to be a Chippendales dancer.
oh my goodness. I'm sure we can connect them with some people to make that
I
happen.
think we can.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna come up with an off-brand called Dale and Dale's, and I'm just gonna find a bunch of dudes that look like me except in better shape, and then I'll just manage them from backstage. I'll be like, Dale, you're slouching, and then they all turn around and they're like, fuck, which one? So that's probably like that'll
that's
probably happen
amazing.
sometime in the next 2 to 50 years.
2 to 50.
Amazing.
Well,
I'm giving myself a realistic timeline here,
I
man.
would love for you to be doing that at 80.
Entertainment management, thank you. I will do that. That's essentially what that's going to be.
What?
No, I actually. So, like you said, that like you're always going to kind of like revert back to like what you really were meant to do and what you're passionate about. You were just making the safe choice up to like wasting time.
Yeah.
Essentially, I've always kind of thought that like if someone goes down the safe route, then they're like taking steps further away from like doing what they want to do. And I've always kind of thought that like that's kind of like the nail in the coffin of like you're not really ever going to make it back to like wanting to kind of pursue what you want, something you want to pursue, because then you're going to get complacent and then you're going to get caught up in like the time of having to like maintain this other lifestyle of stability, and you're never really going to make time for yourself. And
Right.
so like I've always had the mentality of like it's important to just try first, because you can always go find something to
I
like
think
pay
it's
your
like
bills.
like never be afraid to try something. Because,
sure.
Yeah, if you're not really into it, then go back and figure it out again.
Right.
But it's kind of like what you said. There's like this safe mode for people where if
Oh, yeah.
you're like, this is what I should do right now because it's better for me, whatever family, then you're just going to keep going down that way because it's safe.
Sure.
You know?
So I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast today, and last week he had Dr. Phil on.
Oh yeah, I haven't listened to that one yet.
It's
I wanna-
really
yeah.
fascinating. But to your point of try something new, they were talking about the psychology around winners. And Dr. Phil made an amazing, like, kind of insightful statement. He was like, every winner that I've ever interviewed, talked to, he ranged from someone like Tony Romo, and he put a new perspective on it to me. He's like, objectively, if you look at him as an athlete, you might consider him a loser because he's never won a Super Bowl and all these things.
Right.
But he came from like a no-name small town, a college of 1,000 people, and played for America's team for 13 years, and then became, ratings-wise, the number one color commentator
Right.
on TV. He's a winner, right?
100%.
And Michael Jordan and all these people, and he said that all of these guys, their one thread that they all have in common is that they all were losers who learned how to evolve from their losses.
Yeah.
So to your point, trying something new, to be able to get to a point where you've won, you'll have had to inevitably try a lot of things where you would have lost. And to know when those are the educational moments rather than the thriving moments,
Right.
I think is like the big takeaway that people need to learn. I think a lot of people forget that losing, learning, etc. is crucial to getting to where you need to
Yeah.
be.
Or it's like for me, like radio is not my lifetime career path.
Right.
I'm not going to say I wasted 6 years, because actually I didn't. I don't regret any of that. I learned so much. You know, you do different things to learn what you don't want. It's like dating. You know, date a lot so that you realize what you don't want.
For sure.
100%.
You know,
That's awesome.
Sorry, I was taking some Advil for my back.
It's all good, man.
you know, it was more of the K's, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's Advil. It's Advil.
It's all right. Shh, don't say their name. They haven't fucking paid us.
Oh, right. No, this is just ibuprofen.
This is generic
Generic.
painkillers, man.
Yeah.
Over-the-counter
CVS
painkillers.
brand.
See, no, we can't say that either. No, we can't.
It's what Kyle makes in the back.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, he goes, what's his name from Breaking Bad?
Oh, Walter White.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
you
yeah.
are Walter White. You kind of remind me
Go.
of him.
Like, in what way? Today.
Like
Like,
the
in what way
glasses.
today? Specifically. Like,
Just the glasses.
The glasses,
Yeah.
the attitude. I feel like you could have a tub drop through your ceiling right now and you'd be okay
In
with
his
it.
motorhome.
Yes,
I don't know.
exactly.
yeah, maybe. There's only one way to find
the
out.
pause where you were trying to figure out, damn, they caught me, or do I?
It's like, shh, be cool, man. There's only one way to find out. We just got to go real hard into the meth game and just figure it out.
Well, there were another thing on the Dr. Phil. I love that I'm actually quoting this guy because I've never watched the show. but he sounds pretty legit on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan, I completely believe, like,
You
is
trust that guy's judgment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But he was saying the reason. So, do you know that there's like a huge like meth heroin like addiction going on in America right now?
Oh yeah.
So he broke it down. He was like, if you're prescribed OxyContin for an injury, like
I hear about
generally
this all the time.
prescribed it, and you take it for 7 days for your injury, and then you renew it for another 7 days, you are 1 in 12 likely to be addicted to it.
That's insane.
If you renew it for 30 or more days, it's 1 in 3. And then Dr. Phil goes, most people can't afford more than 2 months of it. And then what is a cheaper form of meth? Heroin. He's like, that's how that epidemic has arisen. How crazy
Or
is
is it
that?
then so if you're
Crazy.
addicted because it's a prescription, they think it's not wrong?
Well, so
Yeah.
that's the other thing is that, like, there's this whole misunderstanding that just because it's on a script
A
means
doctor
that
gave it to you.
Yeah, that your body even knows what that means. He's like, your body doesn't know if you bought it in the back alley from Kyle or if you got
Yeah,
it from
because your
the
head thinks it's
drug dealer.
right. Yeah,
That's
then
true.
you just keep
I will take
renewing
your
it.
money either way. Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
insane.
crazy?
That's nuts. That's even like 1 in 12. That's like a fucking like nightmarish statistic to me. Like if you told me, I've talked about this before. I'm terrified of going into the ocean because of sharks. I'm also terrified of going in anywhere we know 2% about. It's also like
I
the
love
majority of
ocean.
our
I will
planet.
jump right in.
Yeah, won't do it.
You'll go on a boat, right?
I'll go on a boat. For sure. I like jet skiing and like I grew up fishing. It's like I love
Me and you
like,
are exactly the same that way.
I'll swim in the
only
ocean
go
too if it's like warm and I can go out on like a nice beach and it's warm and I won't go too deep.
Only in a wetsuit. For me.
See, I was like that for a long time. But
I don't want no fucking seaweed touching me.
oh yeah, I had to get over that.
Yeah.
It was fine. Like, I go to Australia like a decent amount now, and like I'll swim if I have a chance there, and it's fun and like water's warm stuff like that. But like, if someone was like, you got a 1 in 12 chance of getting like eaten by a shark if you go in the ocean, I'd be like, absolutely not. The 1 in like 500 million that it is right now is still like too low
That's
for me.
so
I'm
weird.
just
Like for me, that would excite me. Like, okay, let's try it.
Yeah,
Let's
the
try
thing,
it.
The thing that you need to understand about Kristin is that she's low key savage.
All
Right? She's
right.
like a petite 5'2" Asian girl who acts like a 6'8" like black basketball shack.
Like I would, like you probably, yeah, you don't want to go in the ocean. I'm the one that would skydive into the ocean type of.
I just really don't like the idea of being like a part of the food chain. Like, I don't
like,
want to be
I'd
part of
rather-
nature's natural cycle. I don't want to have any business of that. Like me as a human, I have been at the top of that almost from day one. I want to keep it that way.
Oh, interesting. So see, that just like perpetuates my saying that Kyle's a woodsman.
I mean, did you see the backyard?
Yeah,
It's true.
Kyle did make an amazing new design coffee table. I mean, I designed it. Kyle built it.
Well, when Matt says he designed it, what he really means is he talked to his girlfriend, and together they sent me a picture of one in a magazine.
Well, I actually sent you the dimensions.
Yeah, I know.
No, I did send you a sketch of it.
Wait, we have this not designing it though. You didn't make the sketch.
I mean, hey, I curated it.
You endorsed it. Like you were like, I'm for this.
You're like, I sparked the idea.
I would
and you
not
guys
be
put it
against
together.
owning this.
Exactly.
No, but it was
Is there a difference?
like you guys. I don't know, man.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
no,
that you built
it was
that
cool.
one.
I thank you. They sent me this design, and I initially got this. I initially got this photo, and I was like, yeah, I could definitely at the very least I can do something like similar to that.
No, I
but
need
like
to
I'm
look
gonna
up
go
the
for it.
exact words that he used because he used these words, and then Alexis looked at me in the room and was like, "He can't build that, can he?"
Oh well, hang on. I think I might be able to find it.
Yeah, no. He goes, "I got it." He goes, "That's dope. I can definitely give it my best shot."
100%.
That's how I'm going to answer my email sometimes. I'm like,
I
that's
definitely
a
remember-
dope idea. I'm going to give it my best shot.
Like, hey, Kristin, we got this event going on. We need everybody to come in a little early. Mark, can you come in at 7? Be like, that's dope. I'll give it my best shot. Like,
Yeah,
Like,
so
if you-
me
you
and
see
Alexis
me at
are in the
seven.
same room together. She looks at me. She's like, "We should give him a different design. He's gonna fuck this up."
nah. So what I did was, I started kind of like,
This is what we sent him, right?
Oh,
this.
that is dope.
So we sent him this,
yeah,
right? And then I sent him the schematic, right? So I designed it, No.
right.
I would have
Which,
my
by the
doubts,
way,
too,
which
'cause
by
it
the
looks-
way,
yeah.
and this
And
doesn't.
then this is the one that he actually made.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's not too different. It's mainly the legs
Actually-
are a little different.
So what you mean is, ha, I showed you.
It's yeah. So by the way, and this has nothing to do with you, Matt, but the quote unquote schematic. By the way, for anyone listening, it's not like an actual schematic for this build. It's the so you have a photo of the coffee table, and then this quote unquote schematic is literally a photo of the coffee table that's just fucking gray, and then they just have
But
the
the
dimensions of
A.
like it's 16 inches tall. Like that's it.
Oh, geez.
And so
It's definitely not like an IKEA.
No,
You know,
no.
like-
absolutely
step by
not.
step.
And so, I mean, that's the thing with furniture building too. I mean, you just kind of there's a certain aspect of it you just gotta kind of figure it out. You know, I mean, like you practice enough and you know kind of like these techniques that you're gonna be able to use to like build these certain items. But at the end of the day, like in this case it was Matt. You know, but like if a client or somebody like gives you something, you're just like, all right, I'll do my best. Maybe I shouldn't have told you that. Maybe I should have just thought like, all right, Kyle, let's do our best. Like I should. No, I knew that like.
Yeah, like imagine you're on stage with Logan. He's like, "I really want you to do a guitar solo." At this point, you're like, "That sounds dope. I'll do my best."
Honestly, man, I say that a lot because I don't want to be on the line for someone to be like, "Well, you fucking said," you know what I mean? I'm just be like, "Actually, I said."
I told you. I'm gonna.
I gave you a very confident probably. And so, no, but I built a lot of furniture for you guys though, and it's always been
Yeah,
this
pretty
like,
much everything in our house except our dining table is made by
yeah,
you.
your bed. I didn't make your bed.
It's metal though, so that's different.
That's
it's
true.
not wood.
I have a couple friends that are like really, really incredible, like welders and like
Really?
great at metalworking. Not neither of them live in LA, but
We should have them like weld something for us.
yeah.
You'd probably hate my room. I'm one of those people where like, why is the finish on this side okay and this one's not? Like, I just gave up and I just kept going. Like,
That's funny.
like literally all my furniture is IKEA, and like some
Oh,
of
yeah.
some of it is like you can tell the wood finish is right on one side, one drawer, and the other one is the backwards.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, I'm not gonna undo the whole thing. We're just keep.
You know,
so
I have a lot of
undid
that.
the whole
I
thing.
identify.
Oh no, I'm just like we're just taking not worth it.
I identify with that. Like,
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Because my thing is, if it's for me, if it's for somebody else, it's totally different. Like, if I'm being commissioned or hired to do something, it's a totally different ballgame. But if it's just for me, like for myself, my question is, how much do I care? And is anyone else going to notice?
Right.
And if they do, how much are they going to
That's how I thought. I'm like, I
Like,
don't
I
care.
personally would care.
See, that's the thing, though. So it's like,
Like I built a desk that I bought off Amazon.
I remember that desk.
You know that desk? It's nice, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a slight, very small but noticeable blemish on the wood finish of the top.
oh, yeah.
3 hours after I finished building it, I took it apart, sent it back, and asked
Yep.
for a new one.
Oh, for me, if it's like a like a stain on the carpet, like, well, that's where the plant's going.
Right? Yeah. Improvise. Adapt.
That's where I'm putting
Like,
some furniture.
Absolutely. Like, well, I guess
Yeah,
who's
I'm
getting a new
too
rug?
neurotic for that.
No, that's fine. I mean, I have empathized with both of those sentiments. I mean, I definitely like act out both of those personality traits in different
Oh
situations.
wow!
But
Really?
yeah, Because there's some
cool.
things I'm like really detail oriented about, and other things I'm just like, who cares?
Like your
It's fine.
guitar playing.
Yeah, close enough.
You're like kind of.
No, the guitar playing thing is definitely like, that's close enough. I'm like, the thing that I get paid the most to do, I'm like, that's all right.
Kristin, so I know that you enjoy disappearing from LA on the weekends.
Yeah.
What is like some of the most fun places you like to escape to?
Well, I haven't been to that many exotic places, surprisingly. The farthest I've gone is probably Mexico and Hawaii. Very disappointing.
I've never been to Hawaii before.
You
Yeah,
have
I've
to
never been to
go.
Hawaii.
It's
I
I think I've been to like
amazing.
16 different countries. I've never been to
I've been to
Hawaii.
30.
I'm going next month.
Never been to Hawaii.
You have to go. But yeah, no, I hate LA. Isn't that weird? Well, it's so toxic.
No, I mean, I
So-
think we both hate
It's,
LA.
yeah, 100%.
So I don't
Nobody
mind
likes
work-
living in
yeah,
LA. If
I don't
someone,
mind working in LA,
Yeah.
but then when it's the weekend and it's like my time, I have to get out. So I literally do weekend trips all the time.
That's great.
And
Yeah.
where do you go?
Like Vegas is probably a good one. That's weird because I'm also going to another crazy city. Back home in the Bay. Like honestly, if you look at my calendar now, like I told you guys, I had to be here this week because then I go to Austin, then I go to New York,
Oh,
then I go
yeah,
to
yeah.
Vegas, then I go to Hawaii, and then
And which of those are work? Only Austin?
no, I like to make trips both.
Okay.
You know, because they're kind of maybe like a week long each time, so it's like why not do both?
So Hawaii, what's the work?
I will probably try to set up meetings if I can.
Are there music things that happen in Hawaii?
They're smaller. Like there's small management companies. Like obviously there's radio stations out there that are reporting. There are obviously agents, promoters. They all have clubs and venues.
Oh,
You
cool.
know, if not, might as well just do emails from the beach.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
Do you
awesome.
surf?
No, so
Would you try?
I would, but other fun fact is I have 6 screws in my shoulder.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, story time.
Yeah.
What'd you
well,
do?
it's not anything epic. Badminton in middle school.
Badminton.
Badminton.
You know, the most Asian thing you could do.
I thought you said. I thought you said it's not anything epic like badminton, and I was like, we're operating from two very different like points of view here about like epic sports. So was it just like a repetitive injury?
Yeah,
kind of
so
thing?
it's like I'm like naturally like double jointed and like super flexible everywhere. So like anytime my arm goes above my shoulder, it's likely to pop out, like dislocate.
Oh, gotcha.
So when I went to go for the birdie, I didn't know what happened at the time. Like I think it was like 7th grade. Like it's painful, and then I pop it back in. Like you're just trying to figure out what's wrong.
Right.
And then it kept happening, like swimming. Can you imagine that happening when you
Yeah.
dive underwater and you're trying to get up? And
Oh,
literally someone had to come
man.
in and get me because I couldn't get up.
Oh,
That's
then-
terrifying.
when you were swimming, that's what happened. Like
Yeah,
you couldn't move
it
your
happened
arm.
then, and then it got so bad it would happen in my sleep because I would
That's
sleep
pretty
like
dangerous.
this.
You
and you
would've-
wake up like
You could have drowned.
yeah. So I eventually
So much emphasis. Yeah.
Like,
I could have died. And then it was just happening so much. You're like, this can't be good because you do that so much, your bones are grinding against each other. It's
Yeah.
deteriorating. So I had to get surgery and get screws in there.
Dang.
And then other funny story. So after that, they're like, it should never pop out again. Like you have 3 in here, 3 anchors and 3 hooks.
They lied.
I was gonna hit someone, and then
You were gonna fucking punch somebody in the
because
face
we were fighting, and then
like a real fight?
and
Oh
then
my
it
god!
popped out.
So you basically threw your arm at him.
And then it's like, oh, I was trying to hurt them. I ended up hurting myself.
Oh my God.
Wait. Girl or guy?
Guy, yeah.
wow.
I won't name names.
No,
so-
totally.
no.
Definitely don't name names.
Probably wouldn't know him anyway, but like,
So
But
yeah.
they lived in Burbank, and you're gonna give the address, right? No?
Yeah, I'll give you their Instagram handle later.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Throw some shade. No.
100%.
So and
What
then
was this like particular dispute over? Was this like a relationship?
yeah, just like nasty, like mean things. That's what we'll call it.
Sure.
Enough to make me want to throw a punch.
But did you like then
Dang.
take the dead arm and try to hit him with it with your other arm? Like, did you like hold it up?
No, and then I was just screaming in pain. All of a sudden, it stops fighting. The other person's like, "Oh my god, what happened?"
They kind of like
and
diffuse
then
the situation.
and then
like,
we're all like nice to each other because I have to get to the urgent care or emergency. I went to the emergency room in Vegas.
and they were like,
Oh my
what
gosh.
happened?
Yeah, so
and
and
it's
then
like, just some Vegas shit, man. Stitch me
I
up.
came up
Like,
with a story like I was raising my arm really fast, and then so they had to do the whole like give me all the MJ drugs and all that stuff to make it stop hurting.
Wait, what's an MJ drug?
Michael
the
Jackson drugs.
yeah?
Like,
What was it called?
I don't know what the doctor like actually gave him, but like they're like that's like the doctor that like killed Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
wow.
obviously a smaller dosage for me.
Yeah, she's still here.
You're right. He's not.
He's not.
The one
Just
that
so you-
makes
in
that
the
puts you
case
to
you didn't
sleep and you feel amazing. The one that
Anesthesia?
kind of it's the one that makes you fall asleep.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not really into drugs.
Yeah, I'm not either.
So
Yeah, so that's what they gave to me. Popped it back in, and then I had to go back to surgery. And now I have 6 screws.
That's wild. That's like the lamest way into like injuring yourself, segueing into like possibly like one of the coolest ways to injure yourself. Be like, I was gonna punch this motherfucker so hard, my shoulder popped out of socket, and then I fell on the ground. Like that is outrageous to me. That's crazy.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't
He's
even
just
know.
so
I'm just
amazed.
like I'm just trying to process this. I'm just like trying to put this together. Like
Have you tried to hit anyone else since?
No, I learned my lesson. Yeah.
that's a pretty good lesson.
But so now you take your like aggression out in like your car choices.
Yes, or running.
Right.
Yeah.
running.
So I
Her
also-
next car she's gonna get is a Camaro.
yeah, I love muscle cars.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. And everyone's
You gonna
like,
get a new one or an old one?
at least a new one. Yeah. Everyone's like, you can't drive that. You're tiny. But
And I was telling her that we should do a like a little promo video of her like in a leather jacket coming out of it with like flames
Flames.
on the ground.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, people are actually think it's weird for you to want like a muscle car because you're like small.
I mean, I've heard that before from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then-
I don't know what it's like to be small. I haven't been your size since like 3rd grade, so like
I think
I
I'm
don't know.
still the same size. But
Like I don't know. I don't even remember what that's like.
I hear that, and the other one is like, why do you want an American car? Everyone's like, get a Japanese car,
And
And
then
like,
you're like, that's
so-
fucking racist.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You should say that's
I should be like,
racist.
why?
You should
'Cause I'm
ask them.
Asian?
Should be like, all right, Becky, what do you drive? She's like, a Prius. And you're like, that's fucking Toyota's Japanese. Like, you should flip the table on them.
I know.
You should accuse them of being racist and then be more racist back to them.
Because most likely they do drive a Prius or a Japanese
Especially in
car.
LA too,
Yeah.
man.
We were actually talking about this before the podcast, that the level of political correctness in America is creating more racism, just like how when
Oh, 100% agree.
when you were a teen, right, it was very obvious which kids' parents were like, if you want to go get drunk, go get drunk. Then those kids would like black out and then be
Yep.
like totally normal. And then you knew the kids that parents were like, don't do it. It's illegal.
Right.
And then they rebelled the other way.
100%, man.
As a country, we're that kid right now.
Absolutely. Like we're just going too far. Like it's just too far. I'm all about like being sensitive to like the needs and emotions of like other people. It's like this planet is a shared space.
Well, that's why I hate watching the news. Like, did you see the new thing kids are doing? Is that they're spiking their coffee with vanilla extract?
Wait, what does that mean, spiking?
Like, because it's such a high alcohol proof. Like, did you know that it's more
vanilla extract?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh wait, all right.
like
I
yeah.
do not know.
It
like
was
pure
on the news. this
Amanda
week.
cooks with it actually, and it's like you can
You
so
can
I've
get
actually
drunk.
heard this.
Yeah. So this week on the news, they're saying because it's technically over the counter. I don't know. Anyone can buy it. Kids in school, like high school, middle school, are buying bottles of vanilla and putting the whole thing in their coffee, and then they're drunk.
That sounds like the most delicious way to rebel ever. Like, why would that shit went around whenever I was in high school?
I
Like,
didn't know
When I
about
was in high
that.
school, we were like huffing cans and
right,
shit.
dude. When I was in high school, motherfuckers would roll up with like a Sonic Dr Pepper and be like, "Hey, I poured half a bottle of Everclear in here." I'm like, "You're gonna fucking die, man!" Like, holy shit! I went to a get together in high school one time. This dude literally like drank like a shitload of Everclear, and I'm like, "That's your body's gonna shut down." Like,
But it's like,
right now.
if I didn't see that on the news, I wouldn't have thought about it. Right?
Me neither.
It spreads it out.
Here's what I'm always like blown away by the creativity that people have when trying to like act out and like find new ways
To like do rebellious.
like to be
things.
like rebellious. Exactly. Like that's insane.
I
Well,
would've
first,
never
kids are
thought of
fucking stupid. First of all, it's like that's like problem number one right there. And then you pair that with not having any type of like real guidance or like someone like
Oh, yeah.
kind of like helping like lead you through life and like helping you make decisions and be like, hey, like like if you want to like have some like a drink at home with dinner with us, like with mom and dad, it's a little different than like kids just like getting fucking railed in like 8th grade. Like that's insane. I didn't really have any experiences with alcohol before I was 21, but that's wild, man.
I'm like,
I'm like
it.
reading about it right now.
Yeah.
This is hilarious.
Oh, the
so
vanilla, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
crazy? Who would have ever thought? Like, I didn't even know there was
I don't
alcohol
know.
in my vanilla.
I was like last week.
Next week it'll be lemon extract.
That's yeah. I think I found this out like a few weeks ago though, like because like Amanda was making something. She was like, "Hey, can you give me some like vanilla extract?" And I got it, and I was like, "Well, this has like an alcohol content." She was like, "Yeah," and then like a family, some like my sister-in-law's mom like makes like their own vanilla extract, and they put like bourbon and stuff in it.
Oh, wow.
And so they gave us some of that too, and like Amanda cooks with it and stuff, and I'm just like, that's crazy. And I never thought about it again. And then now all these kids are like,
Yeah, it's like
Puffing
back
it.
in, years ago when they used to sniff Sharpies. Do you remember that?
Right.
what
Yeah.
do you mean used to?
He's like over here.
I got a case over there, guys. The old glory.
All these colors.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, well, you know,
Nair, right? Didn't they? do
huffing
Nair?
stuff is safe because you're not actually ingesting it. So it's a safe way to get high. The PSA, everybody, do what I say. Matt knows I'm full of shit. You were like, kind of looking at me like, is this
I was
for real? Like, you serious? Like,
do we clean
no.
this out?
There is
No, I'm
something that said,
100%
like if you say something with a lot of confidence, no matter how fucked up it is, people think it's
Dude, totally.
like Kyle, go do another one.
Yeah.
Like say cigarettes.
Oh, I don't know. What can I like mislead people about cigarettes?
No, just say it's like really healthy, like in a really
Cigarettes are actually super healthy. Like the Surgeon General's warning on the package is just to not have too many in a day. But cigarettes in moderated use are like really healthy.
I'm like thinking about it.
Like you're like, well, maybe I could just have
You're like, maybe one won't hurt.
maybe one won't hurt. I don't know.
Do you know who Alex Jones is?
No.
You know who Alex Jones is, right? No.
I'm probably gonna know who you start telling me.
So
It doesn't ring a bell.
Infowars.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
Okay.
Infowars is crazy.
Yeah. This guy, you have to watch. This guy's
Okay.
hilarious.
That's so-
He's like the king of conspiracies.
Oh, God.
great.
And like he's had some crazy shit where he says stuff like Sandy Hook was all like staged.
Oh, jeez. The one that where I'm going to
yeah.
get mad and yell at, like, listening to this.
Yeah, but it's
He's
like,
definitely gonna incite a response from you.
Yeah.
or like invoke a response.
But he's like, I guess, calmed down a little bit in his age, and Joe just had him back on. And one of the things that he was like peddling was the and I guess there is like scientific research, which is like the funnier part about it, against you guys know about 5G that's coming into like cell phones.
Yeah, AT&T is claiming it's already active, and AT&T is full shit.
Right.
Oh.
Have you heard of 5G? It's like the
Well, I
new
know
thing from
4.
LTE. It's supposed to be better than LTE.
Better than 4G.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one better.
Yeah, one better. But apparently it's like has like mind control like
Or as
properties.
he says.
Right, but then there's like an Oxford University study that he was referencing, and Joe's like asking his producer like on air, he's like, check that right now, and you hear Jamie, the producer, being like,
Right.
no, that's like actually, I'm like reading it.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, no, you have to listen. Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, listen to it.
Okay.
It'll
Yeah, it's
It'll
crazy.
make-
Spark something in me.
it'll make you laugh at the very least.
Okay.
Joe Rogan Experience is also a great podcast. He has like super good guests. I listened to the Travis Barker one recently.
Oh, that one's great.
Really good. I'm a big fan of Your Mom's House also, Tom Segura and Christina P.
You should have just left it. I'm a big fan of your mom.
I'm a big fan of your mom. I love Joe Rogan. I also love your mom.
That sounds like Kyle.
No, Your Mom's House is pretty awesome too. They've got some great guests. Yeah, definitely check those out. So I've done this before on the podcast, and I haven't done it in a while because I haven't really found a story that I thought was worthy to like dive into and share.
Did you find one?
I found one. So I'm on Reddit like all the time. Like Reddit's like my news, which is
It has its own issues.
it has its own issues, but
Do you
you
go
know-
on Reddit?
No, not so
I've
much.
literally never been on the
No, like
It's-
I probably once.
it's amazing. I love it.
It's not amazing.
A lot.
It's a waste of time.
Then that was the last.
Oh, it's a
time.
huge time waster for sure. But you have to like know how to navigate it because if you're just going and
That's
browsing
like
Reddit,
the first sign of someone addicted to something is like justifying it.
You're
And be
doing
like, you just have
heroin
to
wrong,
know
man.
How to do it.
Right.
you're doing heroin wrong.
The first time is always weird. You just gotta try it again.
Well, no, but it can kind of be like any other form of like social media or website if you just go to the homepage. But they have subreddits that are all like topical, and like there's ones on like woodworking and music and like different artists. There's a subreddit for the Joe Rogan Experience. There's a subreddit for your mom's house. Like there's a subreddit for like all kinds of different things. And so like there's political ones, there's news ones. People are always sharing articles and links and stuff like that. So it's like a user submitted, like user curated website that has aspects of social media because you can't comment on things. But anyway, so there's a couple of subreddits that I really, really love. One of them is Am I the Asshole? And it's people asking questions to the group, and they lay out a scenario, and then they get judged, and people are just like, they're like, am I the asshole or not? I don't know. Like, it's a lot of like ethical dilemmas. Like, was I wrong here? Because like I didn't think I was, but like then I thought about
you weren't wrong.
Exactly. It's like either that, or it's just like, can you just like tell me that I'm not crazy? Or it's like, was I the asshole? And the people are like, yeah, you fucked up. So this one's not that. This is another one. It's just called relationship advice. And most of the time you get like really stupid questions, or people are like, I've been dating this girl for like a week, and we went to the movies, and I wanted to go see an action movie, and she didn't want to. And my question is like, what should I do now? And I'm like, what do you fucking mean, man? Like, you don't ever have to see that person again. You don't have any commitments. Like, call her and say fuck you and hang up. That's what you can do. Or you can maybe not go see that movie and then move forward like a normal person. Like, those are the kind of ridiculous questions that this sub gets flooded with. But every now and then you get a really, really good one. So this is like, so I screenshotted. I got like 6 screenshots of like these paragraphs of just like this story. And we can talk about it through it if you want to, but.
Oh, let's go.
All right.
I'll give the woman's opinion.
I don't think you're gonna want to. I really don't think you're gonna want to. All right, but here's the thing. So I was scrolling through, and this made it to the front page of Reddit. Like, this was trending, and the title is, "This dude's 28, his girlfriend's 26," and he goes, I think my girlfriend has been using my gym socks to wipe after going to the bathroom. That was just what I said. Or that was just what I read. Like, I read that, and then in my head I was like, oh man, I shouldn't click on this. Like, I shouldn't read this.
But then you clicked it.
Because
I read
I need
it.
to know what happens
I
next.
read the whole thing, man.
It's like the Joe Rogan went down a rabbit hole of vegan cats.
Oh yeah, that's that for sure. Like,
have you seen this thing?
No.
So cats are not humans and need red meat. And there's a group of people on Twitter that think it's okay to feed their cat vegan food.
Yeah.
They look deformed.
and the cats are dying after like 5 years because cats are
I have
hunters.
a cat.
Yeah, feed it what it's
We
supposed
should
to eat.
track test it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Give your cat kale for 6 months and then take a photo and send it to
poor
us.
God. Yeah, he would.
No,
deteriorate.
so this whole thing, and then Joe in his like one of his comedy specials, he talks about that. Just like he was like, I should have gone to bed, but then he didn't. And it's like it's really funny.
One of those moments.
Except I think this was like the middle of the day, and I was like, I need to be doing other shit with my life.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so this is like, so the too long didn't read is like, found my gym socks in the garbage covered in poop. I asked my girlfriend about it. She started yelling at me and crying and left. So that's a synopsis of this whole story. The story is way better than that. So, all right, this guy goes, I don't even know where to start with this. I'm dumbfounded. She just stormed out of the house, and I'm sitting on the bed asking myself a lot of questions. And a lot's like all caps. I'm like, sounds like it, man. I live a pretty normal life, and I thought so did my girlfriend. We've been together for a few months, and after things got serious, we moved in together. We started sharing a lot of the household responsibilities, but the one thing she was adamant about doing was the laundry. She would come home and find me in the bedroom getting the laundry together and would quickly ask me to go do something else. I'd come back to finish the laundry, and she would have already started it. I always thought it was sweet and never her job to do it alone, but hey, if it makes her happy to do it all the time, I wouldn't stop her. This is where it takes a turn for the weird. I keep all my socks and underwear in the bottom drawer of my dresser. I also go to the gym frequently, so I always keep a good supply of clean gym socks ready to go. I never kept count, but I know by just a visual glance I had several pairs. This morning when I went to grab a fresh pair to pack for the gym, I noticed there were several dress socks, but no gym socks. Again, not weird. They must have been in the laundry. I went to check the laundry basket, and it was empty, so I checked the washing machine and dryer. Both were empty. I couldn't figure out where all my gym socks had gone. So I did the very... So I did the very natural thing of asking my girlfriend what had happened to them. After all, she's the one who does the laundry all the time. She went silent, turned red, and ran out of the room. So that should have been like red flag number one. This
Yeah.
guy was like, he walks in like, hey babe, like, do you know where my gym socks are? And then she just stares at you and her face
You
gets
got
red and
caught
she
in the act.
runs away. And so, when I went after her to see if she was okay, she wouldn't talk to me. I told her I wasn't mad. I was just looking for my socks. She kind of mumbled, I don't know. I still wasn't mad, of course, but I was super confused. Socks just don't disappear. So I asked her again. I even laughed about it, and she just looked at me and got mad and said, I'll buy you new ones. So I can't even imagine what I would be thinking if I confronted someone about like
And
not
I
being
can't
able to find
defend her because it's just so weird.
That's what I'm saying. So, all right. So he goes, the first thing that went through my head was that she somehow managed to destroy my socks while washing them. I thought the side of that was actually pretty funny. So I joked with her about ruining my socks. Wrong thing to say. She started immediately crying, like full on sobbing. At this point, I don't care about the socks anymore. I want to know what's wrong with my girlfriend. I sat down next to her. I sat down next to her.
I really want to know what's wrong with your girlfriend.
I don't think you should. But like that's at that point, I'd be like, I'm not gonna pull this thread. So he goes, I sat down next to her on the bed and put my arm around her and asked if she was okay. She just kept saying she was sorry and that she would buy me new socks. I tried assuring her again it was okay. I even went so far as to say I would buy new socks and she didn't have to. I sat with her for a few minutes trying to calm her down.
Mind you, let's just note that this dilemma is over probably $12 worth of socks.
Right.
Right?
But it's
you
such
can
a-
get a 12-pack of Nikes from TJ Maxx or any of those.
Right.
For...
But the absurdity is the fact that he's just like, where the fuck did all my socks go? And then he was like, hey, babe, do you know where my socks are? And then she freaked out.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
And then he still has
didn't
no
even
idea
seen
why.
the socks yet.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
So she could have just been like, I ruined them in the wash. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she could have just
I
like-
tried to bleach them. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's why I know
Lie.
she's guilty of
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like lie for longer.
Yeah.
Like it's not that big of a deal. So
Lie for longer.
yeah, that's
Ellis,
fine.
Do not listen to this.
So, all right. So, I even said that I would buy new socks. She didn't have to. I sat with her a few minutes trying to calm her down, and eventually I had to get ready for work. I told her I loved her and got my things together to leave for the day. On my way out, I grabbed the garbage to take it outside. When I got outside, I lifted the lid off the garbage can, and I noticed a small plastic bag sitting on top of the garbage already in there. I could see through the bag that there were socks in there.
So this is day 2 or 3 of him asking her about the socks?
No, I think it's the same day.
It sounds like the same day.
It's like the same day he went to go
Right,
to
but I'm
work.
saying that didn't he ask her one day before she started crying here? He had asked her.
Or I think that was the
initially.
sneak peek of the article.
Oh yeah. That was just like the synopsis. He was
Yeah.
just
So
like, "Hey,
she-
this
at
is what
this
happened."
point, she had no time
Yeah.
to go throw that away.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Got it.
So a lot of posts on Reddit have what's called a TLDR, which is a too long didn't read. And so if someone posts like a really long post and you don't want to read the whole thing, they summarize it in like a sentence or two, so you can just be like, "Oh, this is what was happening. I can move on." Because like if you don't really care about the subject that much. This immediately drew me in, so I was like, I have to read every word of this. I've got to read every word of it. And so, since I was sure she'd somehow managed to ruin the socks washing them, I wanted to see for myself. I opened the bag and immediately regretted my choice. There, inside the bag, were several pairs of my gym socks covered in what looked like poop. As soon as the smell hit me, I knew it was poop. Number one, we don't have any pets.
But even if you had pets, would you use the socks?
I mean, like my wife and I have pets, and sometimes, like, I mean, we have a son too, and so like sometimes you get into like a panic situation.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, you're just like, I have to grab anything around me to solve this problem.
So here's the other question: did she run out of toilet paper?
Oh no, this is way.
You're like, there's a lot of
This is
socks.
way deeper. This is way deeper than like you even know. Like I'm gonna, because he posted like people were asking like, dude,
Pictures?
what's been no.
Oh,
They were
okay,
like,
I was
dude,
like-
what's been, because he posted this story, it went viral on Reddit, and then a lot of people were like. Then started
Wanting
commenting,
answers.
and they were like, "Dude, what's been happening since?" And so he posted an update. And so I have the update too.
Oh, wow.
So number one, we don't own any pets. Number two, we don't have any kids. Number three, and this is in all caps, whose poop was on my socks?
Ew.
So, work could wait. I couldn't go the rest of the day wondering why my socks were covered in poop and inside a plastic bag in the garbage can. I grabbed the bag and walked back inside. So this motherfucker is getting gangster, but he's like, what the fuck is this shit about? Grabs the bag, walks back inside.
Oh man!
Oh man, this is amazing. amazing.
I would figure then that's the end of the relationship.
Yeah, you would think. So
Like even a bag full of poopy socks.
he grabs the bag and walks back inside. And then he says, as soon as my girlfriend saw the bag, she flipped out and started yelling at me. She said I shouldn't be going through the garbage and that I was disgusting for bringing it back into the house. I asked her to calm down, and then I just wanted an answer as to why there was poop on my socks. I wasn't blaming her of anything, but she started accusing me of blaming her. That's when it clicked. I didn't know what it was that led me to ask this, but everything leading up to this moment had just been so crazy. So I asked her, is this your poop? It's amazing. She started sobbing again and ran out of the house. I didn't go after her this time.
Good choice.
I wish that would have just been the end of the story.
Yeah.
Be like, I let that bitch leave. So now I'm sitting on my bed with a bag of poopy socks on the floor and a lot of questions in my head. The only conclusion was that she used them after going to the bathroom, which that alone has its own set of questions above everything else. I sent her a text asking her to come back. She hasn't responded yet. I don't even know what I'm going to say when or if she gets back. So that was the end of the original post. So like this is a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So this happened. This dude's confused and he's like, I need to process this, writes a post, puts it online, and then just leaves it. This got like very quickly got like over 30,000 like responses.
Like what happens next?
Like, yeah. So here's the update. So
Amazing.
update. I had to leave for work and I'm now at work. Yes, I threw away the bag of poopy socks. She texted me back and she's clearly embarrassed, but felt she owed me an explanation. She said she didn't want to talk about it in person and that we could discuss it over texting and to not bring it up in person. Oh, hang on. Sorry. I was scrolling. All right, cool. And to not bring it up in person. I'm condensing the conversation and filling in some gaps as best as I can. Her responses are super short, but I'm getting the idea. I flat out asked her if it was a fetish. It is not a fetish. She confessed to using the socks after going to the bathroom. I found the reason she always does the laundry is because she was hiding the fact that she uses socks to wipe with, primarily her own. I had no reason to question the amount of socks she ever has because who pays attention to that kind of thing? She thought I would notice and think it was weird since she doesn't own any socks. She admitted she has done this for a long time. Her reasoning, as best as I can understand, is that because she's a germaphobe, that was her word, and she's afraid of toilet paper and afraid that it'll tear and it'll get her hands messy. And she's afraid of that. In any way of getting her hands messy. She's scared of that. So she uses socks because she's afraid the toilet paper is not going to protect her hands enough. So I'm guessing she puts her hand in the sock and then just like wipes with it. So she uses yeah.
Kristen's face.
Yeah.
like-
You didn't know that you were in for this whenever you agreed to come on.
Great, I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
She uses socks because it covers her entire hand. After she's done with them, she throws them away. She used mine because she didn't have any other socks. Why the fuck isn't she just buying socks? Like if she's this deep into this habit, according to her, my question is, why wouldn't she just have like a little bag like under the
But
like
see,
cabinet
it's
in
funny.
the
So
sink?
now that after she explains herself, I'm like, it all makes sense.
Oh no, it totally does. It all
That's
makes sense. But like
disgusting.
now we're left with like the collateral damage of
Why
knowing
not put
this
a
girl-
glove on?
Exactly. Like this girl could be channeling all this energy into some kind of new invention that the world needs to know about via Shark Tank. Like she'd go on, like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
So here's my question. It's just like at this point, why would you not just buy socks specifically for this reason and then just hide them, keep them under the bathroom counter, and then just go like once a week and buy like a fucking like 30
I'm left
pack or
with
something
so
like
many
that.
questions. Like, how much have you spent on socks?
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking. You know.
And so
And like obviously they have to be semi-quality
yeah.
socks.
Do you
because if
care
they're-
what type of sock? Like, did she go to a certain?
she's
brand?
like, oh no, not Nikes. Those fucking suck. Like, yeah, so she uses them because it covers her entire hand. After she's done with them, she throws them away, and she used his because she didn't have any other socks. So he says, so my girlfriend has a fear of getting poop on her hands, so she wipes with socks and has done this for a long time. It could be worse, I guess. I hope we can laugh about this later. I'm trying to find the humor in it now, but I'm still weirded out. So that was the update on the original post.
Oh,
And-
Like,
they're-
can you imagine like if they're out at dinner and she's like, "Can I use your socks?" Like,
Right. She's like,
she
hey,
forgot to bring them.
babe,
you know?
I don't know what kind of restaurant this is, but they didn't have any socks in the bathroom. Can you take your shoes off, please? Like, I'm in sandals. Like, that's so weird. Yeah, I don't understand. So that was an update.
Do you know where they live?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, no.
I feel like
It
this
doesn't
is
say.
like a Midwestern.
What were the
Oh,
comments?
absolutely.
Were the comments ever like leave her or like?
Oh, everyone
get-
was like, you need to get the fuck out of that relationship, man. Like, I read through some of the comments and they were like, people were just like,
brutal.
what is going on? Like, so many
Yeah.
people were just like, what is happening? So that was the post, and then that was an update to the original post. And then I just have a couple more paragraphs. He made a new post about this because so many people were like,
Another
you have to
update.
keep telling us about what's going on, dude. Like, we need to know.
She has no idea about this.
She didn't.
Oh no.
She didn't. So he makes a new post in this subreddit, and he provides a link to the original post. So if you haven't read it, you can get caught up. So this is the new post, and this is the last one that I've seen so far. He says, I've had a lot of time to think about what happened yesterday. I've also read through a lot of the comments. Thank you to everyone who gave me advice on what to do. There's been a lot of development and a few requests to follow up. So here it goes. It's whatever at this point. We've been texting on and off all evening, and as promised, I agreed not to bring it up in person. When I got home after work, her car was in the driveway, and her sister's car was there as well. I was a little nervous not knowing what I might be walking into, but overall, I just wanted to get whatever was going to happen over with. When I walked in, it was clear, so did she. Her sister was helping her pack up her things. I didn't know what to say, but I never expected this. I honestly thought everything was going to be okay when I got home. Her sister just looked at me and didn't say anything. I walked by her sister and went into the bedroom where my girlfriend was. She didn't say anything either. She didn't even look at me. It was if she was going to leave, I at least wanted us to have a discussion about it. Everything I had read in the comments about buying a bidet and OCD led me to believe there might be more to all this than I had considered. I started to talk, and she just threw down the hangers of clothes and screamed at me, "You put this online? I told you not to talk about it." And then her sister ran into the room and told me to just leave until they were gone. She then accused me of cheating. What? This whole thing had been crazy, and I felt like I had dealt with a lot up to this point, but man, that was it. I snapped. So I told her sister I had never cheated. Not once. I would never cheat on her. Enough was enough. So I told her sister the reason she was there, because earlier I'd found out my girlfriend had been going to the bathroom and wiping herself with my socks. Everything went silent. Like no one said a word. Out of nowhere, they both start crying, and her sister started yelling at me and told me I shouldn't be talking about things I don't understand. When I asked her what in the world she was talking about, she just kept on yelling at me and shouted back that it was normal and that I needed to mind my own business. So at this point, this is a family deal. Like
Yeah.
they're in on it. They both do it. So number one, her sister knows about it. She did not know I posted on Reddit about it. Number two, her sister thinks it's normal. And number three, I need to mind my own business. They're my socks. So he says,
This is amazing.
so he goes on to say, and this is the end of everything. He goes, I go on to say, or he goes on to say, I stood there all kinds of messed up, so I just left. I went to a buddy's house to stay the night. I also called off work today. I went home, and all her stuff is gone. I didn't text her back. I think I'm done. To clarify a few things, she insisted on doing laundry to keep my suspicion of her not having many socks at rest. She told me last night through text she always throws away the socks and never washed them. She reaffirmed it's not a fetish. She won't try a bidet because she doesn't want poop water splashing on her. That's also not how bidets work. I can't keep up with the comments. I'm really pooped. I'm trying to find humor in this because I'm really upset. So yeah. Oh, and then there's an edit, and he says, her sister did not previously know I posted about it on Reddit. I'm sure they both do now.
Oh, jeez. And we'll send them the link to the podcast after this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You should
I need to follow up. I need to follow.
my
Yeah.
God.
Oh
But-
my god,
but
you
you
need to
need-
put the link to
The
this
thing is,
episode
though-
on that thread.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh my
I've
God.
got his username in the screenshot. Like,
So
I'll
many
just
people
like,
will
I'll just be
listen
like,
because
dude,
you're like, we are gonna deep dive into
gonna
the
talk about
story,
this.
and you're like, we are gonna
Well,
try
I mean,
and answer how much might you spend on
I
socks.
agree with him though. Like
who
that's
wouldn't
yeah,
agree
this
with
is
that
a
fucking guy?
mind fuck.
Like, this is like a normal dude that's like, honestly, the whole
he
time.
handled it way better than I would
He
have.
Yeah.
never got angry about anything. He was just like, I
But
just want some
see
answers.
how in the end the girl always wants to be right.
Oh yeah. So she was just like, you don't know
It's
what you're
his
fucking
fault
talking about. Your
still, for
sister,
whatever.
like her sister came and was like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
I just want to know if the parents of those two girls know.
Like, were they raised that way?
Right.
That's
Like-
probably because they think it's okay.
Oh my god, imagine.
You know,
Both parents do it also. They just have like a closet full of white socks.
like we should. So how much do you think they spend on socks in a year? It's like a pair a day, more.
More.
Let's just say a pair a day.
Yeah.
Like, let's say that they buy 6-packs for
Okay.
$10
From Costco.
Let's say they spend $40 a month on socks. $50
So like
a month on socks.
$600 a year.
You spend $600 a month a year on socks
I mean, it's not.
on top of what you already spend to wear
Yeah.
them.
And how much do you think it costs a year on socks? Like, how many socks a year do you buy? Or, sorry,
I
not
don't
socks.
know.
How many
Toilet
rolls of
paper.
toilet paper a year do you think you buy?
I do not spend $600 a year on toilet
Right,
paper.
but-
No.
But what do you spend? Maybe like 100?
Oh, more than that. I mean, how much is like a big package of
Yeah,
toilet paper?
it's kind of like
It's
maybe
pretty
you get like
expensive, right?
Costco 24.
It was like
you know.
like 13, 14 bucks. Probably by like
Yeah, but
one
that'll
of those
last.
a
It'll
month,
last you
like one of those
a month or 2 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you're like at 130, 200 a year.
But it's like you think of all the trouble, like
you're
obviously,
spending, like,
then you got to
at
take it
least 3
outside to the
times.
garbage. You
But
always
like
have to
the
make sure-
irony of the whole thing is, if she was just like upfront about it from the beginning, I'm sure you'd just be like, whatever.
Like, hey, this is kind of weird. You
But,
know,
like,
I first of all, to defend her for a second, you're right to not tell anybody that you do that. Like, you were right to want to keep that to yourself and just be like, no way. Like,
But can I just
wouldn't wanna
make
tell anybody to do
another
that,
point
that.
of
Yeah.
something? Did he not realize that like the toilet paper was only ever depleted when he used it?
that was my first thought
Because
too. Actually,
like women use toilet paper also when they pee,
yeah.
right? So it's like
I mean, not a lot, but like,
right, but like if it's never
Like, yeah, if you're a guy, like, wow, it's been gone for a day. And then
Right.
you're like,
oh,
right,
like if you,
it's empty
like,
and
yeah.
you don't refill it,
Yeah, and
then,
you're like-
days
yeah,
go
or
by.
you see
You're
her
like,
going
oh my
in, you're like,
gosh.
wow, she just
yeah,
stands
like,
up.
There's definitely touch points that should have raised
Yeah, so-
questions.
I
He
guess,
missed
man.
a lot of key things.
I guess
signals.
Well, he also said that they had been dating for a few months, and then their relationship got serious, so they moved in together. So
They
at
moved
the
fast.
so
When you move in together, I think that's something that you probably should tell your significant other. And you could probably word it in a way in which it's not
yeah,
weird.
I
You could be
like to use cloth.
right. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
hey, just so you know, I don't use traditional toilet paper. I use cloth. I buy it on my own. It's my own thing. Just letting you know, it's my own quirk. Sorry, is what it is. Moving on.
you're also assuming a lot about the reasonable nature of a person that uses socks to wipe their ass with, like a person that does that probably also is not going to have like the social
Acuity.
like awareness to be able to like have like a rational conversation about this, and like this is something that I do, and so it's like I think that they should go to therapy.
Separately.
Yeah. Oh, by they, I mean the girl and her sister.
Oh,
This guy
oh.
should just count his fucking losses and move on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because that's so weird. And again, I'm not like shaming this person for doing something that I wouldn't do. I think we would all agree
But
that
can
this is
you-
something that warrants at least talking to someone about and being like, because there's like psychological things going on whenever you like have that much of a fear about getting your hands dirty you resort to like stealing socks from someone you're in a relationship with and then throwing them away. Like,
Well, and then the poor guy now, like every time he goes on a date, he's gonna be like,
yeah, it's like peeking on the table and be like, what kind of shoes
But
you
like,
got on?
how did you run out of socks? Because like he definitely noticed it a day before. It wasn't the same morning.
Yeah.
It took a day or two for him to be like, hey, where's my socks?
Right.
Because he was like, hey, I looked in my sock drawer.
oh yeah, he thought, oh, they're probably in like the washer.
Yeah,
or, like,
exactly.
something.
Why didn't you like
they were
replenish
nowhere.
them the second?
That's what my other question
Right?
is.
Like-
Even if this girl doesn't do anything differently, why the fuck wouldn't she just go buy him new socks
Like immediately.
immediately and then wash those so they don't have like the new sock thing? Because you know you can always tell because new socks are
New socks are the best.
That's a thing.
I love new
that is
socks.
a luxury unknown to the third world is new socks.
Totally.
Um,
Do you know how great it is to put on a pair of new socks?
I'm trying to think of the last. I put on a pair of new socks. Well, no, I never wear socks. I always wear sandals.
Ugh.
oh, so
Come
you're
on,
like
we're in LA.
fresh
Come
out of
on.
the package.
Yeah. Oh, fresh socks are the
Yeah,
best thing in the
I
planet.
love wearing flip flops and sandals.
Oh,
One
wow.
of those, even in the rain, because I also think if it's raining, I don't want to get my shoes dirty. I'd rather get my feet dirty. Sounds weird.
You don't have to
but-
clean shoes though.
What was that?
You don't have to clean shoes though.
I
Like, it's
have, yeah, tennis shoes.
No, she
Right.
actually told me that she has a special cleaner, right?
Yeah, the
Like
one
for
that
your
gets rid of
shoes?
every stain. Yeah, and makes it waterproof.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So you like Scotch guard
Yeah,
your shoes.
but
and
I'm
shit
also
like
one
that.
of those
Yeah,
people where
Alexis
like,
just dyed her shoes when they got dirty.
yeah, like I'll buy expensive
Like,
shoes,
Guess they're dark blue now.
like
No,
sneakers,
literally,
and then
look.
you don't want to wear them.
She bought like paint and dyed them.
Look brand new.
Oh, it's amazing. That's different though. Those are like canvas shoes. Those are like Vans, Keds style shoes. You know, like kind of like the
That
low
was
rise.
that was dirty,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then painted.
there you go. I think it's great.
Yeah, like back to the socks.
Yeah,
Sock
I
issue.
tangent on. And he's like, "Fuck you."
I could not talk about this for the rest of my life and be fine, or we could spend another hour talking about it. I'd
Oh,
also
he
be
loves
fine.
doing that. We deep dived into. Have you ever heard of the Anunnaki or the reptilian conspiracy?
I listened to that one last time.
Yeah.
You guys.
Oh, did you really?
What was I doing?
That was.
I
If you
think
want to get familiar with the podcast,
I
that's a
turned that
fucking
on
winner to
last
go
week,
for.
and I just like in bed. Oh no, I was traveling. I was like, I'm gonna turn this on. I just left it on
That's
when
a
I was
black hole.
when I was like working out in the hotel room, and I was like, oh, this is what I'm getting
Yeah, it's like
myself
almost
into.
an hour into the podcast before we start talking about it, and there's another hour after that, and we don't.
No,
leave
it
the
literally
subject.
was like that, and then all of a sudden it was Logan stuff. And then
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, and I was like, I'm like, what happened?
that's funny.
Sounds about right.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
I mean, you definitely did not think that we were going to talk about poop socks on this episode.
No, I didn't. I didn't prepare myself for that.
I just found that story and thought it was the most bizarre thing ever.
Yeah.
Like
He finds
was-
some weird stories on
like one of
Reddit.
them, like the last one I read was about this deaf girl who was dating a guy. And this dude thought that because she was deaf that he could just fart as much as he wanted around her. And she was
Doesn't mean
like,
she
I
can't
can
smell."
still smell. And then sometimes
That's disgusting.
and then what did she say? She was like, one time we were sitting on the couch and he farted so aggressively. The only way I could describe it was that it was a fart quake, and I felt it before I smelled it. And then she like confronted him about it and was like, hey, dude, you know that like I can like fucking smell like. Come on,
That's
dude.
just gross.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
like
turn off.
it's
and
weird,
inconsiderate.
like weird stories like that. I
Yeah.
just think is so funny and bizarre.
Mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling is a
Yeah.
great way to put it.
Yeah, like what would you, like?
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know, man. Like, it's where I'm trying to think of like a situation where you like some sense was like dulled, and so you're like, all right, I'm gonna fart because I'm safe now, and like no one will know.
I think he's just an idiot.
But then there's like other things. Oh, the guy's clearly an idiot. But I actually saw this on my Facebook memories recently. Like a long time ago, I was playing like on stage somewhere, and there's a keyboard player who's sitting down behind me, and I was standing in front of him, and I was like, I walked on stage and started playing. I was like, dang, like I really have to fart. And I was like, I think it's going to be kind of a loud fart. And so like, I'm going to wait until like a big part of the song. And so I waited. I waited until we got to like this big part of the song, and I was like, yeah. And then I just let it go, and I felt so good. I was just like smiling. I was like, no one has any idea. And then like 20 seconds later, I turned around, and then the keyboard player just had this fucking look on his face. He was like, you piece of shit. Like, he was like, I can't get up. Like, I can't leave this area. You can walk around. I can't leave. I'm going to fucking key your car after this show. Like, dude, it was crazy. So there is like, I can't relate, but I can at least, I understand. Like I get it, because sometimes like if your defenses get lowered a little bit, you're like, you only really think about like, oh, well, like no one or no, it's fine. But like,
They know.
100%. I mean, a fart is like a multi-faceted sensory experience, Sometimes you can feel it. You can hear them. You can definitely smell it, And so it's like you got 3 out of the 5 right there just for this one bodily function. So
it's like kind of psychedelic.
people are going to know if you fart. Like 100% people are going to know. So, yeah, that's crazy.
Do you want...
no questions.
I know you're not a huge movie person.
No.
But is there any TV that's like guilty pleasure?
I just binge watched all of Gossip Girl again.
Wow.
Gossip Girl! Yeah!
Gossip Girl.
So
Gossip Girl's the shit.
Yeah.
I
So
went
I
to
can
Stars
only
Hollow on the East Coast. Like I found like the actual like little town.
really. So I
Yeah, I was on
can't
tour.
do movies. I can only do like short like episodes because I like get bored really quickly. But I
Right.
binge watch series all the time, and I'll do it of the same. I don't know why. If I really like one,
means
I'll
that
watch
you're
it again.
comfortable.
Yeah. It's
What-
like background noise. I'll just leave it on.
What are your top 3 series? Gossip Girl's one.
Gossip Girl, Sex and the City.
So you're
Pretty Little Liars. I really like
You're
those
like-
like chick,
You're like really like textbook Asian girl.
but I don't read them. But I like watching it, like Riverdale. I love.
Yeah,
But
Amanda
Is
Lee's
Riverdale like vampires?
No, it's
like
Archie and Bunky.
Yeah, it's like
It's
a
like a-
spin-off of like kind of like Pretty Little Liars.
It's like a dark kind of take from like Archie
Yeah,
and Bunky.
but I'm one of the people that like I can't. You know how they'll air one episode a week? I need the whole thing to be uploaded.
Oh, yeah,
and
I'm that
then
way, too.
Yeah, I have to wait till it's done and up on Netflix. So
Will you watch The Umbrella Academy?
what's that?
It is new. You might like it. It's kind of supernatural,
Mm-hmm.
but Ellen Page is in it.
I think I actually saw it under my recommendations.
Yeah, it's really great. And you know who wrote it?
Who?
Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The other one I want to get into is You, because it has. I also look for shows that have characters from other, or they take the same actors.
Which is you?
Sorry, you said Gossip Girl, and my head went to Gilmore Girls.
I knew it.
My head went to
I
Gilmore
knew it
Girls
did.
because
I
when I
didn't
said
get into
Stars
Gilmore
Hollow, you
Girls.
kind of looked at me and you're like, all right, that's not really part of the show.
Yeah. I thought, I don't know.
No,
I'm going to shake my
Gilmore
head.
Girls.
How many times
That's
have
a
you
town.
watched Gilmore Girls?
I've watched it passively once through like Amanda, like binging it.
I don't think I really got into it. I like the one where it's like kind of mystery or
Oh,
sci-fi
yeah, for sure.
or, you know.
Did you ever watch Supernatural?
It kind of got scary watching by myself.
It is pretty scary.
Yeah.
They do kind of touch the limits. Have you watched that show? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I live by myself, I have to. I'm
yeah.
careful of what I watch. Like I don't want to be scared, and then
So
I can't.
like you like would never watch Halloween alone in your.
No, like I'll watch it at a group, but then I'll hate
Oh,
going
but
back
what's
home.
that movie that
Hush.
you want us to do? Oh, so
Yeah.
Tell Kyle about this.
Oh
movie.
yeah, how you guys like commentate on movies.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to do Hush because it's about a girl who's deaf and it's a murder. So the whole movie you can't. There's not really any noise unless it's coming from the murderer's point of view. So you guys should comment the whole time. But it's also so realistic. Like I freaked out going home because I was like, that could happen to. Like, can you imagine if you were deaf and you can't hear anything? And this guy's creeping around your house trying to get in. So the other part, well, I
That
don't want to give a lot of it away.
Terrifying. I have literally never
Yeah.
thought of that before in my life.
Yeah. But it's like, so, or I don't want to give a lot away, but like she has a friend and she gets locked out of the house, but they're signing to each other and she's trying to tell her that there's
They
a guy
both
trying to
die.
kill her.
I love it.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
watch it.
100%.
And then we should also watch the other one. With,
Cabin in the Woods.
No, we're watching Cabin in the
Oh,
Woods.
yeah, we already got that scheduled.
A Silent Cabin? No.
What's it called?
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
my
that
God.
movie's great. I love
And then
that
watch a Kanye Place,
What's that?
What's that?
the SNL version.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
no.
It's the
Wait,
best.
there's not.
It's the best.
Okay,
Wait,
we're gonna do our
Yeah.
normal thing. Okay,
Alright.
so we just watched a clip of SNL's A Kanye Plays.
It's
Mind you, SNL
so good.
is nowhere near that funny anymore. And if you haven't seen A Quiet Place yet, the general premise is if you talk, the demon monsters will find you and eat you. And this group of
crazy.
5.
What's a family? Yeah. Like,
No, but in the Kanye Place.
Oh, in a Kanye place.
This
yeah.
group of 5 just could not stop talking about Kanye's tweets and all got eaten from it. It was beautiful.
That's amazing.
Uh-oh. Kyle,
What
help.
are you doing?
It's
not
falling.
me.
No, but that's amazing. Oh, wow.
There you go.
Cool. Sorry, we had a technical malfunction.
It's
Kyle's
called. I
green-
can't. I don't have the like base for that mic stand, and so I just like gaff taped
So we
it
use
down,
tape.
and then like it moved. It'll be all right.
So that was hilarious.
It's like my favorite.
It's pretty great. My favorites, I was telling you about it earlier, and I definitely can't even talk about it on here because it's really offensive. But just all of you go watch Derek Comedy's Spelling Bee on
Oh yes,
YouTube.
the one you just told me
Yeah,
about.
that is the funniest shit ever.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, what else would you want to kind of tell listeners, or what stories do you want to kind of talk about?
I mean, I gave a lot of fun facts
Oh,
already.
you gave a ton, yeah.
a lot
No, I mean,
that
I just wasn't
people
sure if
wouldn't expect.
there's anything that you want to kind of wrap with.
I don't know. I mean, it's like I think the whole message of everything is, check if your, significant other has socks. Obviously,
100%.
follow what you're passionate about.
100%.
Take
Totally.
risks. Don't be afraid to be spontaneous.
Buy a Camaro.
Yes, muscle cars all the way. Don't let your size fool anyone.
That's right.
And then I think
Don't
just
be size racist.
yes,
Don't be sizist.
Sizist.
go.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
like that.
yeah. And then I think it's okay if people tell you no,
Totally.
and then go download Bandsintown.
Yeah. How would you how would you sell someone on that platform if they didn't know what it was? Like, why should they use it, and what does it do for people?
Yeah, I mean, like for artists, managers, labels, agents, anyone, it's like I think they just don't realize it's a free marketing tool. You know, aside from uploading tour dates or announcing a tour, like an artist can use it and market themselves. That's why it's like a lot of baby artists or bands will, you know, sign up because you have the same access as a major.
Right.
And you can promote your music videos, merchandise, of course, your tickets. So I think it's a lot of people just don't realize what you can do on there.
Right.
And then for the fan, it's a listening platform, you know, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, you can link it in there. And then it recommends shows based off your, you know, your listener ID or what you listen to the most.
That's awesome.
That's really, really cool. I think a lot of people don't necessarily know how intuitive Bandsintown can be in helping curate their weekend entertainment.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Because I think a lot of it is discovery, right? People discover new things on streaming platforms all the time, but it's kind of siloed into how do you find where to go.
Right. It's like
Right.
you have Spotify that will give you recommendations on what to listen to. You have Instagram, people tell you what's trending. Why don't you use us to, you know, find new shows that you
Oh,
might
yeah,
like.
Exactly. I think it's great. Well, and it's like, I think the benefit of the platform is that you don't have to sit and compile this list of people you want to go see, and you don't have to like reach out or like find them on social media, go to their websites, look up these individual tour dates. Like all that's just packaged into Bandsintown. You just go to
Yeah.
the site and you're like, it basically like uses where you are, lets you know what's going on around
Yeah.
you.
And I love it, not
Like
just because I
everything, like-
work for them, but I love going to shows. I go to more shows than the average person, but it'll recommend shows and it'll say based off of because you listen to so and so.
Right.
And it'll be so accurate. Like I'll go, you know, sometimes I won't always go to a new artist I've never heard of before, but I'll listen to the music.
Sure.
And then maybe I'll buy a ticket.
And have
go.
you
Yeah.
gone to a show of an artist you've never heard of before based on a recommendation and been just like blown
Oh
away?
yeah, like there's so many of them that I've fallen in love with, or even like just what I'm doing now. New artists and companies come to me like, "Hey, I have this new artist. I want to work with you on something," and then I'll just like be so blown away by their music, and then want to put a campaign together.
Amazing. And I mean, I guess the last thing I just want to say is that this episode will probably air sometime mid-March. And by then we'll have locked in the exact date, but end of May, we'll be going live in New York.
Yep.
Nerds on Coffee live at Soho House.
Yeah, we'll be a Ludlow.
Yeah,
And,
at Ludlow specifically.
yeah, yeah.
And we might be doing a little after party.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a Bandsintown Nerds on Coffee after party in New York that you're going to be the farting guitarist at.
That's right. I'm the gaffartist.
So anyone you don't like, we'll put them and sit them behind you.
That's what's up. I'm gonna make a list of all the people I've ever had beefs with. I want you to put those motherfuckers behind the
we
line
got you
on
the
stage.
VIP seats, you know.
Right. That's right, motherfucker.
But that should be fun. And then also, if you're in New York on March 19th, I'll be hosting a panel at Ludlow House with a couple of friends from DC Comics on
nice.
franchising comics into multimedia IP. That'll be pretty cool.
That's what's up. That's the future of entertainment, man.
Yeah, I think so. Captain Marvel
definitely-
this Friday.
It's
You
definitely-
here this
yeah.
weekend?
Right.
Yeah.
Should we go?
Yeah, we can go.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, let's record the movie in the
Oh
movie.
my God.
Let's do movie night in the theater. I'll just bring a mobile setup and fucking talk about it.
But this Friday we're doing the coffee.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
awesome. Well, Alexis leaves for a week to go skiing. Lucky her.
What are you gonna do with yourself?
I'm gonna be over here every day.
That's true. I wondered why like the schedule got stacked so aggressively. I'm just like,
And I only live down the street. You see me knocking the next day. Like,
Right.
I heard the.
that's amazing.
Yeah, Kyle called me. He's like, "I'm cool with this, but why are we doing like 8 podcasts in 4 days?" And now he understands.
Now I
Because he has
know.
so much free time.
Now I know. That's amazing.
But maybe we'll do a Captain Marvel Sunday,
oh, dude, I
and we'll
love
do like
Matinee.
maybe some Instagram like live tweets or live Instagrams. I don't really tweet.
An
but-
Instagram story takeover.
Yes.
That's,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the social media.
Yeah.
boost.
Yeah, that'd be super fun. I'll use that as my cheat day. I don't really have cheat days for like soft drinks because I just cut them out entirely and like I don't drink caffeine. Or I try to be.
But now,
I try to.
but maybe
I try
we'll
to.
have some Diet Coke.
I try to like be really good at not drinking caffeine.
Yeah.
See,
Don't
Kyle,
forget your vanilla extract.
Vanilla extract is
So
so.
understand, Kyle is sober.
Yeah, I don't drink anymore. And
So don't worry, it's totally voluntary.
100%. Yeah.
But
I didn't run over a fucking kid with my car. It's like court orders, some shit. You know what I mean?
but
It's like,
I would feel bad if I like entice him to have like some liquor, but I wouldn't feel bad to entice him to have some Diet Coke and popcorn.
Okay.
oh, I'm a Mr. Pibb guy all the way, man. 100%. I'm already gonna plan on like just like failing that day. I'm only gonna have one, and I'm gonna try not to get a
gonna make
large.
him have two
I gotta
for
have
you.
Pibb. I gotta have Pibb with popcorn. Just gotta happen.
There you go.
Just gotta happen.
What are you doing this weekend?
I got a friend's birthday party, and I got to get ready for Austin
When do you leave again?
Monday morning,
Oh,
bright
amazing.
and early. Yeah, so
How
I'll be
many
out there
times
for a
have
week.
you been to Austin?
This will be my second time, and it's always been for South by.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah.
it's been a year since you've been.
Yeah, and she's hosting a panel. We're
Yes,
talking
I am
one
on
here.
a panel.
Nice.
So that'll be a good one.
That's awesome. That's what South by is really
Which
great about.
panel is it?
Beyond the music, so artist marketing,
Do you know what day of the week that is?
Wednesday the 13th
Wednesday the
at
13th.
1 p.m.
So this may or may not have aired by then, and if it hasn't, we hope it's great.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't aired, then go fucking be there.
Yeah,
Yes.
it has.
And if you're in the industry, go say hi to Kristin at the AWOL.
House.
House.
Yes.
She'll
And
be there
then
all
look
week.
for us at our Bandsintown showcase the same night, Wednesday night.
Oh,
That's
tight.
dope. AWOL House is dope. Yeah, eat some good barbecue while you're there.
We're doing a
Eat some
Bandsintown
good
activation for
Mexican food while you're there.
for Logan's tour.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's awesome.
It's basically Logan has to be carried on your back from state to state, and we're gonna video it.
Ah, cool.
And I'm the one on his back.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's amazing.
but no, do you like barbecue?
I do. But I'm more about like cornbred. I love
Ooh, I do
cornbread.
love
You
their
know,
cornbread.
I
And
appreciate that you
biscuits.
say that.
I love carbs.
A lot of people don't realize
Yes.
that
Yes.
the secondary menu items to barbecue are like just
That's
as
the
important.
best part. Coleslaw,
Just as important. The sides are
biscuit.
crucial. You
Yes.
gotta have good sides. You gotta have good sides.
I'd rather eat the sides. It's like for like, chicken and waffles. I'd rather eat the waffle.
I wouldn't go that far. But, yeah.
I do love the waffle though in chicken and waffles.
It's great. It's great. All of it's great. Food is great.
I'm
Everything
trying
is
to
great.
find what's that? Remember that place I showed you a few weeks back? The
In
barbecue-
Austin?
Yeah, this is a barbecue. I showed you.
Was it Stubbs? No, it wasn't Stubbs.
Ooh,
was it?
everyone goes to stuff.
Everybody goes to Stubbs. That's
Yeah.
like, everyone went to Stubbs.
No, look. Remember this one?
Is it, oh, yeah.
Look, you got to find this place. I'll figure out what it's
Yeah,
called.
and then I'll go there.
But yeah, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is amazing. It's just like all the meat.
Legit.
Yeah, I love meat. Good brisket. Oof.
Brisket's hard to do well because it's really easy to dry out.
Yeah, but that's what Texans do best is brisket.
Texas brisket's like no other brisket for sure. I've had some really good brisket in LA. My buddy and I Chad and I went on a barbecue tour of LA for like a couple of months. Like every Monday we went to a new barbecue spot. And
Sounds like you had a lot of time on your hands.
yeah, I was like in between tours and I was just like fuck it, man, let's go get some pulled pork. It was
love
great.
it.
It was great. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We're definitely going to be doing a
Yeah,
lot
thanks
of
so much.
stuff on social media. I know that Bandsintown would not survive without the support of the Nerds on Coffee social media posts. So we're definitely going to help you out there.
Yeah, thank
so
you.
we'll throw you a bone. We want the business to do well.
Don't forget the hashtag and don't forget to tag us.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
We want you to do well, so we'll do everything we can.
Like we will give you all of our 10 followers.
That's right. You have every single one of them. We may even have 11 by then. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Indulging in
Yeah.
some ridiculous Reddit stories and talking about.
Yeah, I definitely got a lot
Industry
more
things.
than I came here for.
Yeah, that's our goal. Our goal is that you would leave
Shock
with a
factor.
surplus
Yes, yeah.
of feelings.
Make them wanting more.
for sure.
Totally.
For sure. All right. Well,
Thanks, guys.
we're gonna head out. Everybody have a good week or day, whatever it is that you're listening to this, and we'll see you next episode.
See you later, guys. Bye.